Yep.
I'm back.
Why do you sound in pain?
It's been a long day.
Immediately gain +1 charge of death from above.
And I went
Yes,
to
that's
exactly one station the last time, so...
It's okay. As we recruit more people, there's going to be more of it. But most of these are voiced, so have at it.
Should I go to that shop that you were talking about before? Or is that a station I need to go to?
We may not get there.
Okay, that's a station.
Because there's more random things, is the problem.
Yeah, there's a lot of random fucking talking shit that happens. But we need to make our way down there as soon as possible.
In which case, I'll just go talk to Doc. Who do you want to talk to first?
My dude, you are the Lord Captain. Act like it.
Fuck!
She's tall and middle-aged.
Tall and middle-aged
I'll be back.
and plant at our temple. Hey, tell me about your abilities, please.
What are you talking about, Lord Captain?
You're a psyker. Psykers have the right to live with the Emperor's blessing.
Are only granted the right to live with the Emperor's blessing.
Right.
Please phrase that correctly, psyker.
All of these sound very accusatory as options. So, I am worried for the crew. Psykers aren't the safest people to live around. Alongside.
Says the psyker.
Yeah. I'm a controlled psyker. I have concerns over your level of control. I'm a sanctioned psyker. I have concerns. I am concerned about your level of control over your ability. This one is one.
Lord Captain, there's nothing to worry about. I've been on this ship just short of 10 years. Would Lady Von Valanciers have kept me on if she wasn't sure about me?
Oh, bye.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, sometimes stuff happens. Small stuff. Like when I hear things.
There will be more
Sometimes
combat
what I hear
consistency
so
later.
clearly becomes
Just
real
not
to
quite yet.
me.
Yeah, well,
ordinary
combat
folks
happens a
have
lot
bad
more in
days,
Chapter
don't
2.
they?
And so from then on, Chapter
Well,
1 does not have a lot.
Chapter 2 I'm kind of worried about because there is that whole the map is open now. And just clearing that takes for fucking ever.
Yeah, no, a planet per episode.
No, not even a planet. It's just, okay, chart the paths, get the navigator point, get there, hope that there's not a random event, see if there's like a space battle you have to do, scan the planet, move to the next area, repeat, times like 20.
It's very important that we do that too, though.
Yes, but we don't necessarily need to like go down and investigate things. Just gotta look at them.
Well, there are certain planets where we do have to go down and investigate things.
Well, yeah, but not in the clearing of it that requires everyone. Going down and investigating, that's an everyone thing. Just clearing shit, maybe not. But we just have to hope that we don't get random encountered while we're warp traveling. To the extent that it's not just combat, but it's like story shit.
I
'Cause that will
guess,
stop
but
us.
I guess, but I don't know where your issue comes from because I don't have that issue while doing my thing.
Oh, Adira. Where are you from? I don't mean to cut you all off, but also I'm just kind of staring at screen doing nothing.
Oh, you're good.
The deeper you go, the less visible
Do
the
the thing.
astronomical gets, and the
You're the
less
road trader.
people
Act
know
like it.
about the Imperium. The arrival of a rogue trader is the best thing that can happen to a world like that. The very best.
We'll see about that idea.
Tell me about it. Whatever your home planet is. I wasn't
It's an
paying attention.
out-of-the-way planetoid between two faint stars. On Lyra, a dozen local tyrants fight over 5 measly continents. But they use everything they can to win, from poison to psychers. I haven't been there in many years, but there's nothing for me to miss. Trust me.
Alright.
But here on the ship is a different story altogether. I saw more wonders in my first year serving Lady von Valancius than I'd seen in my whole life on Lyra. Like my first journey through the warp, I was in bed for 3 days. I felt like supernovas were exploding in my head. I only found out later that I'd gotten off easy. Just through the
still
bulkhead
talking to
in the
Adir,
bay
yeah?
next to mine, a whole team
Yeah.
turned into... Look at
Okay,
me
I don't know,
rambling
because my
on,
game
Lord
had like a
Captain.
disconnect thing pop up on
Pay
the
no
screen. I don't know
attention.
if mine just. Oh,
Oh, that means you're in your own game right now. You're not in our game.
We are just going to go through dialogue in case you kind of just don't care too much about it.
oh,
I mean,
But
you and
no
I
more
can
combat.
pop in another world if you want. In our world.
And it's probably also stuff you've already gone through.
Is this really dialogue options for the sake of having said that we went through other dialogue options? You never finished your
Got
story
it.
about the first time crossing the warp. Carry on, please.
It wasn't like it was a very fun trip, Lord Captain. But look, if you want to be entertained, I'm the woman for the job. I'll entertain you with one of the stories from my collection, no problem. But if you want to hear about the time I melted everyone in the bay next door, well, I just don't really want to go into the details on that one, all right?
You gotta get to know your entourage, all these various characters who each have quests and might matter.
It sounds to me like, she is a risk to have on board because she may or may not just melt everyone on the ship.
Just like all Sankers.
No.
No.
Incorrect.
I'm fine. You haven't seen me explode or turn into a demon yet.
I
You're the
haven't
one who's
yet.
you actively are the one who has ruined the veil more than anybody else.
I haven't caused any destruction, so
Not yet.
yeah. So
I will never.
What did you do before you came on the ship?
Oh, I embroidered wall hangings in honor of our national heroes. I did the same thing I do here, Lord Captain. Divining. Our rulers prized the ability to see into the future. Every psyker that could be found was worth a small fortune on Lyra.
I feel like there's a lot of dialogue options.
Yeah.
A lot of dialogue to go through.
Yeah.
Well, I just have an hour
There's
of dialogue
no such
content.
thing as a peaceful life
Yeah.
on Lyra.
Yeah.
People like me were especially sought after. They'd pick
Easily.
psychers up wherever they found them, buy kids off their parents, even just abduct them.
And I'm recording
Take
it.
me, for instance. I
And
got
I'm
taken
also
from my
recording.
street gang. The older
Yeah.
kids sold me when they noticed there was something off about me.
Ooh.
The ruling dynasties had schools where they trained us and beat us black and blue. And then they packed us off to serve. Some of us held on for a long time, but others didn't last. Not everyone's as smart and talented as me, you know. Some people crossed the line and were out of commission before their time.
So, to clarify, this episode will probably be mostly dialogue. Skip it if you want to. Because it'll mostly be just dialogue. We have more. How did you end up in the Rogue Traders service?
Theodora von Valancius paid a visit to the ruler I was serving at the time. I don't know what the visit was for, and it's no business of mine anyway. I can still remember the way the voices in my head changed when I looked at her. They were practically screaming. She had so much behind her, and plenty ahead of her too. As I gawped at her, all of a sudden I heard a whisper. A hint, a suggestion, nothing more. But I know the difference between idle chatter and a real threat. I used my chance and approached Theodora. I managed to whisper a couple of words in her ear before the wardens dragged me away. They beat me and locked me up. No wonder. It wasn't my place to converse with outsiders. And then Theodora's people came for me. They broke down the wall, butchered the guards. All so I could tell them my warning in full. So I said the rest, but I didn't want to go back to my old life. And so I entered the service of the Van Valancius dynasty.
What's up?
What?
What's up?
I have random sharp shooting pains all the fucking time.
That's not good.
No, it's not. But you know, have you ever been off the ship? No. She totally hasn't been to the Navis Nobilite station at all, ever. No.
We tried shooting them back.
A few times. Not many.
I wish.
And if I think about it, why would I want to?
Just hit it with
I've got
either
everything
diamond
I
cutter or
need
sharpshooter.
here. All the whispers I hear are familiar ones.
I don't-
They almost feel like family. And if I want to hear about the nightmares
I don't
off
think
the
you
ship,
know what I
can
mean.
after some
I know what you mean.
I don't think sharpshooter's gonna help. That's a
If
skill.
I have to, I'll follow you to the edge of the galaxy.
No, wrestler, sharpshooter.
Oh. No, I'm good.
Here, let's just talk about something else.
Of course, Lord Captain.
You can't romance her.
Oh, look, there's some more. But you can try.
What's it like being a psyker?
Autopilot.
I wonder.
You could ask yourself that question, eh, Lord
Could ask
Captain?
yourself that. Hey,
Yeah.
she got a little bit of smart dialogue. Woo.
You are a psychic.
Every psyker feels their connection with the warp in their own way. One person might see spots
But
and
just in
shadows
case
out
you
of the
didn't
corner
know.
of their eye. Another feels fingers running down their spine. As for me, I've got a door in my head. One that's open just a crack.
Guess I'm a
There's
psychic.
no way
I
to
have
close
spots
it,
in the
no
fucking
matter
corners of my
how
eyes all the
hard I
time.
try.
That's distinct
I've
with
just
oxygen
had to get used to the
deprivation.
whispers from the other side.
I'm aware.
When I need to use it for work,
It's also a
I
symptom of
listen in more closely. But I usually
stigma.
just try not to notice
It's
it.
also a symptom of
Astigmatism, diabetes, bunch of stuff.
diabetes. Like you said, astigmatism. Fucking glaucoma.
Don't look at the sun too hard.
Overpressure in the eyes.
Those are a lot of things. How do you live with this whispering in your head?
Training,
Snap.
habit, and a little
Conscious
anesthetic and a couple
alcoholics.
other things you can get on the lower decks. If you
Yeah.
put all those together, it makes things bearable. Sometimes I even wonder if I'm imagining half the voices I hear. You know, when life on board gets a little boring. Better than
Forgot
listening
she
to
had
the
dialogue
living
options in there.
anyhow.
Or talking portions. That's what I meant to say.
What would happen if your door just burst open?
Well, if the door opens, that means somebody's planning to come in, right? But screw them. They're not coming through. Trust
Valuable
me.
is a stretch,
I know how to
but
keep
okay.
my valuable head locked up tight.
Aren't you afraid of losing control?
Only losers who are afraid of their own gift lose control.
What the fuck?
Or idiots who never figure out what they are before it's too late. Or little kids who want to play around with their shiny new toy. If you don't know the limits of your abilities, or you're always bouncing around your own head, that's a recipe for disaster.
He's not wrong. But, can you see my future? Sure, I would like to know what
All
happens.
right. That's what I'm here for, after all. So, I'm just going to lean on that door in my head a little more, prick up my ears, and listen to what the warp's got to say about you.
Yeah, let's
If you'll
totally
allow
listen to the
it,
warp. That's a
I
totally
can
good
listen
idea.
right
Yeah, no,
now.
it's fine.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't
Sounds
see why not.
great.
Sounds like a great
All right,
idea.
let's hear what they're whispering,
What they're whispering
you.
about.
Hmm?
Yeah, let's listen to the fucking creepies in your head.
Yeah, open door.
You feel yourself
Among
being
the
watched.
blind men and false prophets, a red-robed sage seeks the answer to a question. He does not know that it is not the answer he must seek, but the question that will draw everything into focus.
that would draw everything into
Will you help him, rogue trader? But mark that sometimes ignorance is sweeter than oblivion.
Is she talking about who I think she's talking about?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Your information is accurate enough. It's just spooky future stuff. And you can do this at different parts in the game too.
Chases after glimmers of
Yeah.
the aurora, but sparks in the scent of oil confound his nose. A chain trails after him.
Chained.
What will happen if you pick it up? Will you become his master, or merely another beast in the pack of his true lord?
Is that what I think it is?
Yeah, they're a follower. If you do that,
Son of a bitch!
Huh. This is enlightening to me. That the future reader is actually telling the future. Cool.
in fairness,
Wait,
that one's far.
That one's... That's chapter 3, isn't it?
It's the one you did recently.
Yeah, that's chapter 3.
I mean, the
That would
second one was chapter 2. Chapter 2.
No, I'm still in chapter 4.
This one was chapter 3. And the next one would be chapter 4, so there's another reading.
The glow of dawn.
No, that one
bursts
she was
forth
talking
from
about a
its
minute ago with the
prison.
red robe dude is chapter 1. The
Dungeon
one we're
walls
in.
cannot contain the dark essence wallowing in the dust. A naive cub pushes his nose into a familiar hand, one that holds death in twisted glass. Cherish it or cast it off as a burden. The sword of change has already
I don't know what this
been
one is
raised.
talking about.
What is one more
The sword
life
you
to
can't
it?
use.
Oh, really? Is that it?
Dungeon walls in dark essence. Blah blah blah.
I mean, I see the sword of change. I noticed like that, but like...
I'm sorry, Lord Captain. The voices are going wild. I can't make out a thing.
Oh,
I tried to rein them in somehow, but for now,
You can do it again.
We'll do it
not
again.
really.
But it'd probably be the same thing, right?
No, she'll go, my head.
Yeah, so
okay.
I can't do it.
Did you know Theodora von Valencia? Well,
You could say that.
none of the officers knew the Lord Captain
We're
well.
back.
Not even Abelard, and she was always closer to him than anyone else. She told me from the off that if I ever listened to anything in the warp about her without her permission, I'd be going out through the airlock. I'm not an idiot, so I never stuck my nose where it didn't belong. Only when I was asked.
sounds like you deserve to be dead.
It's hard to wrap my head around the fact that she's gone. Lady von Valancius gave me everything I have. She opened the stars to me and the paths between them. I still think I can hear her voice.
That's probably your imagination. Or the alcohol. Things are strange between you and Argento. Isn't that right?
The little sister is afflicted with her own set of voices. Ones that whisper to her about corruption and heresy. The silly girl doesn't realize that if she wants to find the source, she needs to start by looking in her own head.
Okay, cool. It was nice talking to you. But... crazy? Yeah, I want to see what the others have to say about it. So, I must take my leave.
Of course. Always at your service. Whenever you need me.
Goodbye. Where is everyone else? Elsewhere? I'm going to assume anywhere else. The Costa's there, but she's not a party member. Oh, Abelard's here.
Argenta is also around.
Lord Captain,
Hey, Abelard. How are you? Can you tell me how to be a good rogue trader?
a noble aspiration, Lord Captain. I am ready to acquaint you with all the particulars that interest you.
Example, tell me about this space that we're in. What do I need to know and keep in mind? Outline the situation, if you will.
This is a topic for an official briefing, not a casual conversation. But I will try to answer succinctly. And if you permit, in my own words, the Coronis Expanse is considerably removed from the heart of the Imperium. This means that local warp routes become useless within months. Established pathways are regularly subject to attacks from all kinds of rabble. And in the only major port, the Imperium's frigates find themselves moored alongside pirate vessels.
Whoa, didn't you?
Until recently, the Coronis Expanse could hardly have been called a region of the Imperium. The situation has changed with the arrival of the Lord Inquisitor, but not by much. This place operates under its own rules, you see. More radical, so to speak. But ones that allow for a non-standard approach where there is a promise of victory. The Coronis Expanse is considered rogue trader territory for a reason. Only rogue traders have sufficient military might, audacity, and the rights granted them by the warrant to survive the leap into the unexplored part of the Expanse, and in the event of a successful outcome, to hold on to whatever they manage to capture on the frontier.
Who are the main players going to be aware of in this ruinous thing?
In the first instance, you should treat official representatives of the Imperium with respect. The Expanse may be on the fringes, but it still numbers among the territories of the Golden Throne. The arrival of the Lord Inquisitor has turned the Coronis Expanse into a less wild and uncontrolled region, to the regret of some individuals who had grown inured to the local lawlessness. Rogue traders such as yourself are also servants of the Imperium. They have been accorded special rights and powers. They wield immense authority within their territory, and they enjoy absolute respect in other parts of the Expanse. The most powerful of them are Kalagos Winterscale and Incendia Bastal Chorda. Tread carefully when dealing with either of them.
So I'm not the only rogue trader. There are others.
Yeah.
Do we ever get to meet any of the other ones?
If we are to speak of
Why
unclaimed
do you
territory,
talk
which
so
is what
much?
Footfall is,
Oh my god.
among the scum that dwells on that handful of asteroids, there are 3 factions that wield considerable influence in the sector. The first is the Kazbala Commission, organized crime in its most primitive form. It holds sway over the Liege of Footfall, and has links to rogue trader Winterscale. The second faction is an offshoot of our shining ecclesiarchy, followers of St. Drusus. They are actively building their forces, and hold influence over rogue trader Chorda. And finally, the third faction, the Explorators, a wing of the Adeptus Mechanicus. They are willing to die and kill for the secrets of the ancient technological heresies that are hidden among the stars of the Coronis Expanse.
Cool. I don't care about that. Do you think Pirat's gonna come back? And what do you think he's gonna do next?
You know, Lord Captain, I am no admirer of fine art. But when we next find ourselves in a civilized port, with time to spare, I will promptly find an artist and commission a portrait of the individual to whom you refer, with a hole between the eyes. Conrad Voigtveer. That he committed his treachery and escaped with his life was an unforgivable oversight.
That's the first time I've heard Abelard actually emote.
We both served Lord Captain Theodora for many years, and we never saw eye to eye. He was brash. He was never afraid of assuming responsibility, and he willingly took on difficult tasks. I am loath to admit it, but the Von Valacius Protectorate continues to reap the fruits of his labors to this day. His service always garnered my respect. But everything else about him made me want to wring the neck of that two-faced snake.
Doesn't like doing that.
If you are taking comfort in the thought that we will hear no more of Conrad, prepare to be disappointed. You thwarted his plans, his meticulously plotted and nurtured treachery. He is sure to attempt to strike at you, and he will use his contacts and knowledge of the Protectorate to do so. The only question, Lord Captain, is whether you will be able to anticipate his next steps.
Alright. That's all for now.
As you wish, Lord Captain.
You know you can call me by my first name if you want.
I thank you for the honor, but I must decline. As a former military officer, I believe in the importance of order in all things, including the chain of command. You are the Lord Captain, my direct superior. I am not prepared to address you in any way other than as regulation dictates.
I think I'm going to take my leave. Talk to you next time.
Lord Captain.
Is there any benefit to actually talking to all of them?
Yeah,
Exhausting their
'cause
dialogue options.
There's a
They have
quest.
quests, and they are your NPCs. So your Seneschal is him, by the way.
He is Seneschal.
Lord
I
Captain.
know. But I don't know what that role being.
Lord Captain.
Bodyguard.
Essentially.
Yeah, bodyguard. Okay. I should hear more about what he had to say then.
Well, realistically, it's not just bodyguard. He is your attendee. He is the person that keeps you from dying and is your closest advisor to tell you,
I'm
hey,
sure he will tell you everything.
He would tell me everything if I asked him about it, but he talked so much.
Lord Captain.
And we're a half hour through our dialogue only thing. Keep going.
I'd like to know more about my Seneschal. Tell me about yourself.
As you wish, Lord
Um,
Captain. What would you like to know?
Tell me about yourself. What were you before you became Theodorus? Theodorus? Theodorus Seneschal.
I used to be an officer in the Navis Imperialis. No, a used to be is not quite right. It was not simply a job. It was my calling, the essence of my life. I was proud to serve Lord Captain Theodora, but in my heart and mind, I'm still an officer of the Imperium.
I was using the opportunity to take care of my chair that needs some bolts adjusted.
So you're gonna go adjust your bolts while you're suffering the dialogue options with Abelard.
You don't gotta suffer through much. You just gotta select things and read your own dialogue.
You,
I met Lord Captain Theodora on a mission where the Imperial Navy was providing reinforcement to the rogue traders' army on one of the frontier worlds. Our acquaintance was not easy. Working with people outside the Navy hierarchy has never been my strong suit. It was to my great surprise then, that after the mission's completion, I received a referral to leave my service in the Navy and join the rogue traders' personal capsule. It was a difficult choice for me, but I saw in the offer a chance to serve the interests of humanity even more effectively than in the Navis Imperialis. You do not need me to tell you just how remarkable a person Lord Captain Theodora was. I recognized her at once as a true leader and formidable creative force, one who had built a protectorate amidst the dangers and wildness of the expanse.
leaving the Imperial Navy is far from easy. Why were you permitted to quit your post?
You could say there was no one among the naval command who was willing to impede the wishes of the rogue trader. To do so would be to risk their own position and their relationship with Theodora. Well, the Lord Captain possessed certain contacts in the Imperial Navy. Contacts which she used to request help during the conflict on the border world. And which enabled her to make me an offer that resulted in my joining her retinue. The Navis Imperialis is an ancient institution with its own mandates and muster lists. On occasion, in the heat of an official briefing, or
So free
informal
XP.
discussion,
You get free XP just for
I
talking to them?
violated those rules.
Yeah.
Matters a lot more now than later.
It is challenging to choose the words to accurately express my opinion on a situation or the actions of others that do not sound overly scathing or confrontational. Many in command were inclined to view my manner of speaking as unbefitting a person of my rank.
I don't even know what rank you are. Just the highest rank, because everyone else adheres to whatever you have to say. Do you have a family?
I am a widower. I am a father of 4, and if my information is not outdated, a grandfather of 11.
Grandfather of 11.
My family lives on
old
Darkonos.
are you?
None of my children express any eagerness or aptitude for serving aboard ship.
I'm pretty sure
And I
age
would
doesn't
hardly
matter
have
in
insisted that
40k
they follow
universe.
in my footsteps.
I think he's in his 60s. I think Theodora was like 200.
That? The way you talk about Theodora, I'm beginning to think that you were in love with her.
What? Lord Captain, any allegations of improper feelings or unsanctioned relations are utterly baseless and bordering on the insulting. Utterly baseless.
I believe you are, you protest too much.
Utterly baseless.
Thank you. I have no more questions.
Of course.
Was that one of those, dialogue options that actually matter? Cool. I was not. I'm assuming it wasn't. I must take my leave. I'm gonna go talk to someone else now. Thank you.
Lord Captain.
This person has a quest for me. You're not there. You're over here. Hi, Argenta.
Greetings.
You said you have a personal request for me.
I indeed have a request, Rogue Trader.
Oh, what is it? Hey, James.
Ah,
You wanna read this?
god damn it. I'm eating.
The accursed servants of chaos who assaulted the ship took the lives of your loyal crew members, and they orphaned many children, including the progeny of the brave officers who defended their posts until the bitter end. I don't know what customary practices there are for cases like this in the Von Valancius territory, but in the world I'm familiar with, the children of such brave souls could expect to receive some special consideration. Perhaps the Rogue Trader could meet with them.
This is a thing. I think you might be locked in now.
So this is the thing I shouldn't have actually gone to?
This is the thing you should not have actually gone to. It's okay. I don't think that you can back out.
Can reload the save?
It's just a bunch of dialogue. It doesn't really...
It's an event that plays in later, but you can make it go.
You're recording it, so it's fine.
Yeah, I guess. And Thaddeus and I are the only ones recording.
Yeah, so you're fine.
Yeah, but Medina isn't here and Kaleb isn't here.
Pretty sure Medina's still here, isn't he?
Medina's
Have to
here,
do
but he's
their
not in the
own
world.
later.
Medina has seen this 3 times.
Yes.
You're recording. Just go.
I'm reading the dialogue options.
Oh, okay.
These are wordy dialogue options.
You're fine. I didn't know you were reading. I thought you were debating on whether or not you were going to reload. My bad.
I can't reload while we're in dialogue. I have to get through it first.
Well, the problem is your autosave wouldn't be nearby. And we've already
No.
gone through Abelard and Idira.
But the autosave would be
Before Abelard and Idira.
before Abelard and Idea, so I could pause the recording and then run through all of them just quickly. Because I didn't choose anything important there.
It's okay.
I will meet with them. No formalities needed. These are the children of people who gave their lives for the Von Valencia dynasty. My consideration is the least that they deserve.
I will pass on your instructions. Thank you for taking my request to heart.
Yeah.
And a lozenge.
And this sets me into the meeting, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were just baseless dialogue options.
The exceptions are the ones added by the new DLC. A motley group of adolescents do not take their eyes off you, gazing at you as if you were a creature straight from a fairy tale.
What is that word?
Indefatigable?
Undefatigable? Undefatigable?
Indefatigable.
Indefatigable. Our indefatigable sister has been keeping her eye on these pups. It's hardly the Gula Pognium in here. But we have provided the orphans on our ship with adequate care and instruction. That is
Latin adjacent.
What?
Scala Progenium. Latin adjacent.
Did they say Latin adjacent? Or it is?
Yeah. No. They like to talk Latin.
Yeah. Vision of blah blah blah. Upbringing of training orphans. That's what that is.
Brave ones, the master has usually before you. He guides you through the darkness of the universe by the Emperor's will. Greet your Lord Captain, the rogue trader of House Von Valancius. You just gonna smoke this cigarette. Mm-hmm.
Look at that fucking option.
You're selecting it isn't even near the 2.
I know.
I, the rogue trader and Lord Captain of the ship, speak to you now. Prepare to give their lives for the just cause that brought order to the farm. Are not choosing that option. If Furnace Master, do you serve as a teacher in your spare time? Is that referring to this guy who's on screen right now?
Yeah.
I could just smile at the group. So in Furnace Master, do you serve as a teacher in your spare time?
Not to tell your lordship, I'm just looking out for him. It's the Infernus way to help folks in trouble. It's our job, after all. So we chip in rations here and there and make sure nobody gives them a hard time. We take the older ones into the clan's care if they want. Many in the guild are not our family by blood, but by circumstance.
Lord Captain greets you, brave ones.
The teenagers keep staring at you. A girl who has remained close to Argenta smiles uncertainly. A skinny pale lad tries to throw his shoulders back and stand at attention like a soldier. Only a few teenagers at the far end of the row seem sullen and not particularly impressed.
So what? Why should we care? Our friends and parents died in the dozens for you noble lot, and you just give us speeches.
Argenta quickly turns to the boy. A flurry of emotions flashes in her dark eyes, like she wants both to calm him and scold him for his impudence.
If you have things to say them without fear. I will listen.
Doesn't matter what we say. It won't bring our parents back, and it won't change our fates either. We'll keep slaving away on this ship until we drop and die like our folks, or worse.
heretic who killed your parents attacked the ship. I was there with the command. I fought and I repelled the assault as quickly as I could. No war. There are a lot of dialogue options for this.
There is,
But no
and
war.
they actually matter. So
Maybe
pick carefully.
without losses, you can only strive to do what is within your powers. Let me. I'm not going to choose the ones where you just address the chaperones.
Get these riffraff out of my sight. Toss sweets at them.
And just
That will make them happy, yeah?
long have the power to decide the fates of others. That's saying that your lives don't matter because I'm stronger than you. And I understand your grief and dismay. Your parents died. It's not an easy thing to go through, but they gave their lives for the truth, good of the whole ship. For the Imperium, do not speak of their honorable fates with anger and disdain. To a kid, that does not mean anything.
Anything.
Nothing
Thaddeus,
at
did
all.
you turn your fan on, or did your computer get pissed?
What do you mean?
We can hear
Suddenly,
a whooshing
fan
noise.
That is my computer being mad at me for playing this game.
Fair enough.
I've been trying
do
to
get
adjust
warm.
my mic so that it's not facing towards the computer at all. But I'm sure you can still
you know.
hear it. It's
I'm glad I
unfortunate.
talk so loud because I've had a fan on and my computer has been pissed at me all day and nobody can hear it.
Meanwhile, there's me. Melting.
I have had a fan on
Also
all day
melting.
and nobody can hear it. And it's on blast too. Like it's not on the low setting. It's on fucking blast. This is the best option in my opinion.
Yeah,
Thank you,
that's the
Matthew.
option I'm going with. I've read it once. Why was option number 2? We can only strive to do what's within our power.
You heard the rogue trader. His words carry the wisdom of the Imperium. It's hard to say whether or not your words have left an impression on the boy, but he nods slowly. Then he catches himself and gives you an awkward bow. Abelard gives a sign, and servants immediately emerge carrying packaged treats with Von Valancius emblazoned on the wrappers. It appears that the Seneschal came prepared for any contingency.
Oh.
Candy.
Give them candy to hopefully make them forget about their dead friends and family.
Just throw it at them. Just throw it at them.
Yeah, don't feel too bad about that one. It hard diamonds into that ending no matter what you pick. Argenta rubs her temple pensively, but what you pick does matter for the character quest and some other things.
Mhm.
Rubs her temple pensively. She smiles and offers a few more words of encouragement, then leaves the bay. Yeah, I spent a few reloads going, are there actually differences? Then I kind of learned how the game works.
And I hope that they're fine.
And then get back to the dialogue, because we still got to go
Back
through
to the
all of
video.
Cassie. And you haven't talked to your high factotum whatsoever.
I talked to
Or your
them once.
Vox. Yeah, to get people, not to figure out what the fuck he's about.
Is he important
Yep.
otherwise?
Yes.
And there's also Jocasta and your Infernus Master.
There's so many people to talk
And
to.
all of Argenta's dialogue still.
So
And Cass is right there too.
Yeah, Argenta has a lot. And the Furnace Master is right next to Cassia.
And the Infernus Master doesn't have a voice. Neither does Jocasta.
Correct.
oh, that's cool. Should I save and reload to get Medina back in here for the off chance that we run into another one of those?
We're not running into any anymore.
Okay.
That was the only one on the ship bridge. I mean, you can immediately fuck Jocasta without any provocation whatsoever, but that's the only other thing that takes you off the bridge.
Here's Thaddeus' romance option. This singular scene in the dialogue only episode.
You never see anything
And then
else?
he will be forever faithful to the horrible lady.
If they decide to sit through 40 minutes of me just talking to random people.
My dude, it's lore. Have you read a book?
Sure. Never mind.
And this is voiced.
To the food store. Hi again, Argenta. I know I just came to talk to you, but I decided to come by again.
You have no idea how long it
Back to the
takes you to
ferry
get
next
from one
year.
part of the ship to the other. It sometimes takes days.
Right.
So you could have not been here for like 2 days.
They took the turbo lift.
Tell me about this one place. The Adepta Soratas, or whatever it is.
Circus.
There are
Serata.
none more faithful to the God Emperor than
Bolter
my sisters.
rings
We
out.
fight against his enemies by the will of the
Game
Holy
over.
Ecclesiarchy. I beg your pardon, rogue trader. Here I am talking
where
about
was
what
I?
every lesser noble in the Imperium knows. So what exactly are you interested in hearing about?
They say that these people are the fiercest in their faith among the warriors of the Imperium. Is it true?
It is. The Sisters of Battle are a fire lit by the God Emperor. They are the echo of his voice that travels through the dark expanses of the universe. We bring his
we're still
wrath to
talking.
heretics, mutants, and other enemies of humanity. We protect the faithful from the unholy and unhallowed. Sometimes with words, more often than not with a bolter.
Are you done now? Yeah. Are all the sisters truly as faultless as you say?
Even the novices of the Adepta Sororitas are drawn from among the most worthy.
Pure
Those who
maidens.
have taken the vows and become a full-fledged sister are
Sworn
the
to always be
best
pure
of the
maidens,
best,
because they are
tested by
technically
trials of body and
the
spirit.
Emperor's wives.
Yes, there have been cases when a sister
So,
stumbled or showed weakness. But do not
if the
expect to
Emperor
hear a
ever
story
woke
of
up,
depravity or downfall
then
from
maybe
me.
not.
He
They
has
would be
about 2 billion
disbanded
wives.
immediately.
Oh yeah, no, they'll all be dead. They'll all be fucking dead.
You wouldn't kill him. You go, what the fuck are you doing? Knock it off.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, they're a highly militarized thing on his side. The Emperor takes advantage of things that he has.
Yeah, but if they didn't go along with the stop worshiping me part, he would fucking kill them.
He would have to destroy the entirety of the Imperium for that right now.
He did it before! He fucking did it before! What makes you think he won't do it again? The fuck?
Before.
He made the Thunder Warriors for that express purpose.
He made the Thunder Warriors to take over the planet.
And to spread out into the galaxy.
No, those are the Space Marines.
Who also worked with him, like...
No. Not all of them.
Except for them word bearers, which almost got redacted. Shame about that, the almost part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Continuing onward, what else do you have to say
Each
about these
such
people?
occurrence is a great tragedy for us all.
I would like to state I am
Light
nobody's
cannot
bitch.
bear the smallest speck of darkness within. And thus those who have trespassed or shown weakness of spirit are given a chance at redemption.
Never mind.
They are called Sisters Repentia, and may the enemy tremble before her. For nothing can stop a sister of battle who yearns to be cleansed of fault and weakness.
Cool. That sounds intense.
Wearing nothing but robes,
Oh,
no
excuse me.
armor, eviscerator in hand. Those sisters who have once faltered find repentance on the battlefield. Their lives are seldom long, but a death in the name of purgation is a better fate than to live with a shadow in one's soul.
Wait, he doesn't wear armor?
No,
Thing? Or is he referring to a different group that only wears armor? Or doesn't wear
there are certain factions in the Sororitas that are just
armor? Or
basically naked lady with a two-handed chainsaw.
It's because they fucked up.
Just
They did
talking
something
about
bad.
Okay.
No, those ones. If you're a psyker or anything that has any kind of psychic abilities, you do not fuck with them. Because they have a thing where they just literally cancel out all psychic powers around them whatsoever, always, all the time.
Oh,
that.
the no.
No blanks.
Blinks, yeah.
And that's not a psychic power in and of itself.
Yeah,
No, blanks are
lot of-
weird.
A lot of the time, when you're around the ones she's talking about here, a lot of the time, if you're a psyker or have the ability to cast psychic powers like demons or whatever like that, a lot of the time when you go to cast a power on them or when you're around them, the power just doesn't fucking go off.
It
At
turns
all.
off the magic.
But to turn off the magic means you have to be able to manipulate the magic, which means you have to be one of the people who can manipulate the magic.
But they're not.
Doesn't being around a null just cause them a great amount of pain?
It causes everyone a great amount of pain. Anyone with any speck of imagination.
Mm-hmm.
They're scary
Mm-hmm.
and not understood.
Mm-mm.
So
They have no use.
they have their use for getting rid of psychers.
Oh yeah, they're very good at that. They're also very good at hunting demons.
So what order are you from?
Once I had completed my novitiate, I was sent to the Calixian branch of the Order of Our Martyred Lady, assigned to the Order's Pronatus. The Order's mission is
What's with
vital
all this
and
Latin?
noble. The Sisters Pronatus protect
High
great
Gothic,
relics of the
low
Imperium.
Gothic.
We guard them, preserve them, escort them when they are brought onto the battlefield or presented for pilgrims to venerate.
What's the name of the developer of this game?
The game maker is Owl something.
Where are they from?
This is a 40k thing, not a developer thing.
Yeah.
I'm going off accents for everyone.
That's also a 40k thing.
Is it a 40k thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
They all kind of
Because a lot of things just sound vaguely English.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright. It's a
That's why
40K
the
thing.
orcs is over E.
It is just a 40k thing.
You can see orcs in this game.
Mm.
Oh,
If you squint real hard,
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure to highlight
yeah.
that episode.
and you wear your 3D glasses.
Sadly, I have yet to see the good guys.
They're not in the game.
Aww.
I know.
Continue.
And we seek out the relics.
Everything
that
else is, though.
lost. Neither a coven of heretics nor the most wicked death world can deter Sisters Pronatus.
Hey, look at that.
When their goal is to return a
You
piece of
succeeded.
the great legacy of the Imperium into the hands of the faithful.
Oh, hey, I succeeded.
That's what I said.
I did the thing.
Looks at how low of a bar it is. Thumbs up.
How low is the bar?
You gotta get above a 19, and the difficulty modifier is plus 85.
How do you know you need to go above 19?
Hover over it.
I see difficulty modifier plus 85. Skill level plus 30. But not how high you need it. I'm asking for future reference. How would you know?
Essentially, it has a secret check system, and it'll either give you it or it won't for a lot of these.
Mm-hmm.
And that determination is based upon that. So this one, because you have a total of 115, you had 115 chance to succeed. If you had plus 0 on your lore Imperium, you'd only have an 85% chance to succeed.
Oh, so I would have succeeded one way or another because I had to.
Well, an 85 chance to succeed is not a guarantee. It could have just not been there.
Okay. It's like that book.
Eventually, you're going to end up with like negative 50s and negative 80s,
Yep.
negative 125.
I really need
Because
to
that's fair.
boost that for some people.
We have a good spread, and I'm high intelligence. Most of it, I've got you covered.
Yeah. And I have goggles on that with my willpower bonus give me lore warp, so I have that covered.
And Cassia needs warp specifically, because there are
Yes.
certain times whenever you are going through the warp that she has to do something.
Yeah.
And it seems that the only stats that goes off of are awareness and warp lore.
Yep.
So what?
So if,
I've seen more awareness than I've seen warp lore, but level
but the
them
warp
both
lore is really important.
Yes.
Because that's how you get more points.
Yes.
And
That's all.
the Slow Imperium succeeded. The Order, whatever. It's not
But
really
not
Order
us.
militant, and yet you are a trained fighter.
Don't let the name deceive you. The Order's militant trains sisters to march onto the battlefield as an army. That does not make sisters who belong to the non-militant orders timid and helpless. Both the solace-bringing Sisters Hospitaller and the enlightened Sisters Dialogus know how to greet enemies of humanity.
I just like your
Their
gesture
dialogue with
on
heretics is
Blackboard.
usually quite short, with the last word being a bolter discharge.
That's
good.
unfair.
I can't blame her for it, but it's just her history. But
She's from the Adeptus Sororitas. You're gonna get that.
And my order has all the more reason to be known for the martial prowess of its sisters. We are the keepers of the Imperium's relics. What would become of our blessed hero's legacy if the Sisters Pronatus could not protect it?
so the British Museum. Let's see. You said you belong to the whatever branch of your order. Or perhaps the Cronus expanse.
Don't be afraid to try.
To the Calixian branch of your order. What brought you to the Cronus expanse?
The Order sent me to Footfall. My undertaking was to assist the local priesthood of Drusians in caring for a sacred reliquary that had been there since the time of Parsimus Duane, the station's founder.
Are there any other members of the Adepta Sororitas in the Cronus expanse?
Sorority.
None that I'm aware of. But the
Sororitas.
sisterhood's
Sororitas.
orders are many.
Well, that's the base
And
word,
can operate
sorority.
independently
Sorority
of
is
one
the base
another,
word.
sending their
I think
sisters
that-
wherever their
I thought it
presence
was
is
wrong.
needed as deemed by the ecclesiarchy. Perhaps somewhere in the Lord Inquisitor's retinue, may his path
Thought
be
sororitas
blessed,
was the
my
base word of
sisters
sorority.
perform their duty as we speak. I wish it
Yeah.
was so. Even a single evening spent in joint prayer and training would bring me joy.
Cool, I have no more questions about your sister. Mostly because I don't want to ask anything else. Any words that may or may not be Latin.
Should any more arise, keeping them to yourself would be imprudent. It is a virtue to take an interest in holiness.
Yeah, no, I don't want to. So, tell me about yourself.
About me? I am the Emperor's daughter and his servant. What else is there to tell about me?
How did you end up being on Theodora's ship?
I first came here when I found myself in need of passage from Footfall to a remote planet. But I imagine what interests you is not that first journey, but rather what brought me aboard prior to the pirate attack. That story is complicated. It just so happened that
That you what?
I made a mistake. In a moment of laxity, I was ambushed by the accursed followers of the archenemy. I was badly wounded. Lady Theodora came to my aid and brought me aboard her ship, while her crew attended to me in my weakened state. It all happened not too long ago. I'd barely recovered from my wounds when the pirates struck. Truly, the servants of evil know no rest. There is no place where we can be safe from their machinations.
So what happened to the people who wounded you? Did Theodora's men eliminate them?
Sadly, they did not. Lady Theodora was in a hurry and chose not to stay on the planet. Her people took me to a ship while I was unconscious, and when I came to my senses, we were already flying away. How I pray to come face to face with those heretics once more, and it's bound to happen someday.
Sounds like a side quest. There's side quest?
Yes.
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot.
There's side
The game
quest?
is 120% side quest,
5% game.
Oh, so
It's the only main
120%
question
was
right
the
now,
content.
posts.
Are you sure you should have left me in charge?
Yes,
Does that mean all the side quests?
that's fine. That just means all of the XP.
The nature of the game is such that that is the efficient thing to do.
I'm being allowed to do side.
You just gotta do them.
You mentioned making a mistake. What mistake did you make?
It happens even to the best of us. My mistakes are my burden to bear. I'll find a way to atone for them.
Feel like if I had higher stats, I would get a different offer.
Awareness is a thing.
I'm going to be buffing my awareness.
Other people will buff it.
Oh, I'm gonna be buffing it a
Yeah,
lot.
but there's a lot of places where I'm just by myself.
Not a lot.
Well, no, it's just here.
There is the
Like,
talk
there's
with
enough to where,
okay.
yeah, I get it. But there's other ones that might be more pressing, given some of the dialogue options.
And what would that be?
Things like willpower and things like that.
My willpower was probably like a 60 something. maybe 65.
Yeah, but they go up to 100.
Things like
Where-
carousal, resisting effects, things like that.
Mhm.
Athletics. Sometimes.
You only need one person for athletics. Ever.
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. I've only ever needed Abelard for athletics, and he has 120 or 150 in athletics.
Like I said, most of the time. But there's every now and then one that's really important. And you just go, well, okay.
So where did this happen?
On one of the recently discovered planets in the Expanse. No one suspected that it had already been tainted by the filth of heresy. Had I known it beforehand, of course I would have been on my guard.
You don't get to go there until chapter 4.
Correct.
Aww.
I'm just getting that out of the way now.
But you can tell her that we will go there.
We will eventually go on the side quest that I thought we could go on. But
Yeah, I know.
The path to that planet was lost. All the knowledge is gone, along with the previous navigator. It would take immense effort and resources to rediscover the route. The heir to the von Valanci's protectorate must have plenty of other issues to deal with right now.
now there's the
Perhaps
side
later,
quest.
when the skies above our heads have cleared.
The side quest. And I'm going to do all the side quests. So I'm going to do all the side quests.
Well, you also have to track down who said what.
Oh,
God.
For the
I
cheat
assume that she said something about the... Can she have said something about the orphans?
Spoiler, she did not.
Oh. What was it like traveling on Theodora's ship?
I hadn't been here that long. Just one journey from Footfall, and the other journey, the majority of which I spent in the confines of the Medbay. I can't tell you much about the first voyage. I was more focused on prayers and ruminations than on the people around me, or the journey itself.
Oh, okay.
During the last journey, Seneschal Viserion stood out for me. He came by several times to ask about my health. He's an honorable man and a loyal servant of the Imperium. I think he is as meticulous in his inspections of the logistics systems as he is in his inquiries about the health of the occasional sister of battle aboard the ship.
That sounds interesting.
But not all of Theodora's people have earned my trust. You know who I'm talking about. There is no place for Adira Tlas among the God Emperor's faithful. I'm surprised she wasn't in league with the pirates. And I'm equally surprised by how deep heresy and treason run in this place. I'm glad we all made it through that dark hour. May the day that follows be bright.
So why do they keep replacing the word cultist with pirates?
That is an oopsie.
Like, several places they keep saying pirate attack. Pirate attack.
Yeah,
And then-
that's an oopsie. I don't know, man. It just is bad.
Okay.
That is a whoopsie poopsie that nobody fixed.
They probably voiced the lines and just didn't want to come in and rewrite it. Rewrite everything. Well, I have no more questions for you. Thank you.
As you wish.
Why are you still here?
This ship was targeted
Why?
by heretical pirates, which means that my presence here and the assistance I provide to you are my
Heretical
sacred
pirates.
duty. Sooner or later, I will likely have to return to Footfall to protect its reliquary. But for now, I wish to remain a part of the Rogue Trader's crew.
Not a main sole character, is she?
Try hard enough, maybe.
I don't know. Lore-wise, she shouldn't be, but because this game is the game that it is,
I know
maybe?
the actual answer, but I will not give it right now. Unless I have to.
I will state it this way, lore-wise, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. That's what I was thinking based on what you were saying earlier. But based on the dialogue options that are here, who knows what they might have done.
Yeah, I don't know. And you may just immediately insult her by trying to go, hey, let's fuck.
Yeah. It pleases me to have a servant of the Golden Throne in my crew. May the enemies of the Imperium tremble before our onslaught.
So they shall.
Thank you for this conversation. Until next time. Who is next?
One more with a voice.
One more with a voice. That is not
And
Castia.
four without it.
Is it Castia?
You can tell who talks to you if you do the tab thing.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
Everyone has a name if I hit tab.
No.
Everyone has a title if I hit tab.
If you hold down tab, her name shows up, Montag shows up, and the other people that talk to you show up.
This is where I must beg my leave. I will come back to talk to you in a second.
I have enjoyed your company. Thank you for the conversation.
Okay.
Have a good night, Medina. This is just
Good night.
dialogue.
I'm probably not far behind you, brother.
What's up?
I said I'm probably not far behind you.
You're right.
Yeah, she good. He's good.
Can't talk
So you
to
got
you.
Night.
Raver there, you have Montag,
Get the Master
you have
Hellsman.
Vicky, you have Janos,
Now I'm just gonna
Sauerbach.
finish up Castia so I can call it quits.
Words cannot describe
we're
how
only an
boring
hour
the
in.
bridge is
It's only
without
an
our
hour in.
stimulating conversations.
But it's an hour in. Tell me about yourself. Who are you?
I am a part of House Orselio, an ancient dynasty of the Navis nobility. Since time immemorial, our family has served to advance knowledge, pushing at the boundaries of the dark unknown. The Starway Atlas contains 2,843 routes that chart the sectors of the Segmentum Obscurus and reach all the way from the Coronis Expanse to Holy Terra.
It feels like one of those dialogue options that actually matter if you're romancing her. But since this is what she wants to talk about, I'm just gonna let her talk about it while I listen in silence.
And uniting the Imperium's thousands of worlds. House Orselio is bound by commercial pacts to houses Galeatis, Ortina, Drotus, and... There is a dark blue knot tightening on your neck, Lord Captain. I can see my reply is not satisfying your thirst for knowledge. What is it you desire to hear exactly?
You can see and protect her emotions.
Now, there's actually a couple of companions that are pretty useful. Castia there is a lie detector, and Idira is a danger detector.
Correct.
Did notice Dira was a danger detector. Didn't know Cassie was a lie detector.
Yeah, she can. Basically, she sees the auras of people,
Emotions.
and during certain emotional states, those auras change color and fluctuations, And in dialogue, especially important dialogue, she will state, "Oh, this person has a sickly green, awful ass aura," and it's just like, "Oh, so this person is absolutely lying to me." Great.
Abelard is very much like established power bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
and
He hates it when
Sister
you
Urchin-
don't. He hates it when you don't do the Von Valancius name justice.
But like he can be used to appeal to the people in charge. Your Sister
Correct.
of Battle there will execute and get away with it, if need be,
Yep.
in dialogue boxes without combat.
Yep. So will Heinrich, I think.
Well, that's an Inquisitor. I don't know. I didn't have him in my party. I only know about the Sister of Battle.
I've not gotten to that point, so we'll find out whenever we find him.
Cabella's. You'll see her soon. Around moving around the map, you'll get her because that's just how it happens. But Cabela actually has a thing where people are deadly fucking afraid of her, and do not like talking to you or lying to you when she's in your party. Like, you just go, "Hey, go do that thing," and they go, no. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute.
The Space Marine is a Space Marine. The Drukhari is a Drukhari.
I didn't have
the Eldar is
the
an
Space
Eldar.
Marine. I didn't have the Space Marine, so I didn't get to have the Space Marine in my party.
Like, there's a reason to have all these people, but you're only going to get to have one at a time because of the
Number of people we have with us.
crew of random assholes that's following you around instead.
Allow me to ask you a few personal questions. I feel like that's the better option.
You have my permission, Lord Captain.
Doesn't sound enthused.
No, she doesn't. Have you ever lived anywhere other than the Arik 5?
Hardly. According to the chronicles of the house, I was born on one of the Orselio worlds. Oh, what was it? Please forgive me, Lord Captain. My childhood memories are too vague. Sometimes I dream about the colorful birds that built their nests in the garden, or the servants dressed in purple livery, or the blue fog that rolled over the lowlands behind the palace. But everything is covered in a rosy haze. Perhaps it is my imagination, not my memory, that is painting these pictures.
Well, tell me about your life on the station. How is it?
My stay on the station was wholly dedicated to preparing me for my future duty. Astromancy, astrography, numerology, the histories of my house and the Imperium, as well as other disciplines.
She says that, and yet her lore Imperium stat
tirelessly prepared
sucks.
me for my destiny. And once a year, Great Regent
She
Alronto
has
would
read
come to the
the
station.
books.
He would
She did not
entrust his beautiful vessel to my command, so
consume
that I could master the
the books.
practical aspects of our art as well.
Do you have friends? Someone you could turn to for a simple conversation? Not just a discussion of yet another lecture? Someone who wasn't a teacher?
The Regent gave me a bird from a sunlit planet once. I tried to befriend it and make it sing, but for some reason, it refused and died soon after. The instructors were too respectful of my duty to my house to waste precious time on idle chatter. Aside from them, there were only servants on the station. And you know they have their vocal cords removed, so they cannot break their vow of silence.
I'm sorry. What?
When the navigator comes into a room and says, "Okay, here, I'm going to bleed you so that I may paint the thing and guide us through the warp," then it becomes what's known as a secret.
I thought that was just a Castia thing, and not a general navigator thing.
No.
In fairness, she is her own.
Every navigator navigates in their own way, but each and every one of the navigator's powers had to have some amount of sacrifice to them.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, navigator stuff is fucked up.
understood.
They also have
And
guilds.
since the subject
They
has
have
been
guilds or
breached,
something.
Lord Captain, why do you not
'Cause they're
follow
mutants.
this honored tradition? Your decks are so garish. Apologies, I meant noisy. The rabble don't just chatter. Sometimes they shout and even sing. Why do you allow such a lack of restraint? Rogue traders are highborn, are they not?
You have a point. It's about time we make the deck quieter. I would have the lower ranks stripped of their vocal cords.
Ah!
Your choices may have consequences.
Yeah. A ruler cannot maim people just because it's in this power to do so. On the contrary, it's the duty of every ruler to look after his subject.
I'll see you've tilted toward your fan again. That or it's gotten louder.
It's
One
gotten
of the two.
louder.
It is preparing to go to space.
It is in the complete opposite direction from where my mic is facing, but it can still be heard. It is under my deck, but it can still be heard.
I like option 3.
You may find it difficult to believe, but the fact of depriving servants of their voice is not particularly widespread outside House or Cynthia. That sounds like an insult to her.
Or Cynthia? How the fuck did you add those letters?
Or Savio.
Or Celio?
I'm dyslexic, okay? The fact that I can read is fine.
That's fine, but holy shit, that was like 14 extra letters.
I'm going with option 2.
That's fair. I don't
Look
care.
after his people. Yeah, ruler must look after his people.
Your words sound amazingly blasphemous. If a ruler's duty dictates the need for violence, would dispensing it not be their responsibility? I will contemplate your answer in solitude.
Okay, cool. Would she be insulted if I asked about her eye?
How hard are you trying to get this romance option?
I do not want to close any door.
You're going to close doors because there are basically 1 or 2 chances for most of them,
Yeah.
unless they're on the ship and they make it easy.
Yeah.
And some of them make it very easy, other ones do not.
The easiest is Jocasta.
I'd argue there are many easy options.
Yeah, but
One
Jocasta,
of which
you
goes
can do-
after you.
I was about to say, literally, Jocasta, you can do it right now. Like, right now. You have to say one thing in one dialogue option, and you're there.
In fairness, they don't have a lot of dialogue.
No, I know, I'm just saying.
What does it feel like to guide a vessel through the warp?
You're not going to insult her with asking about the eye.
Your third eye. Do you always conceal it?
The navigator's open eye is baneful to whoever the warp's ruinous shine falls upon, and therefore it is the symbol of our power. We are the guiding stars of humanity, found worthy of an uncommon gift.
You have guilt.
And one of the duties
still
that we
human?
bear
Hey.
is to guard our eye,
Hey.
even from wayward glances that may bear evil.
What? She has skills?
You're a
And a
psyker.
third eye.
She's
You're
not
a psyker.
This means I have magic powers.
You are less accepted than she is.
Correct.
Why?
Navigators are psychers.
Because you can sneeze and become a fucking demon.
Yep.
Okay, fair. Yeah,
They
that's fair.
don't. They can't. They're actually largely immune to the effects of the warp.
Besides, I am aware that lesser servants of the Imperium.
There you
may
go. There are your
find their
dialogue options,
appearance
buddy.
repulsive.
Oh, there are
The
the
navigator gene twists the
romance
features
options.
the rabble are used to seeing, and the magnificence of our role cannot be grasped by their feeble minds.
I do not like. Okay, first I'm ignoring options 3 and 4
Why?
because those.
What's wrong with 3?
Okay, 3 is fine. I'm ignoring option 4 because that's straight up insulting her. 2.
bloody mutants. Yeah, thanks, Psyker.
2 is actually how she kind of feels, because she literally just asked you to rip the vocal cords out of your subjects because they talk too much.
And 1 is forward. So I'm ignoring all of those, and I'm just going to go with still. Who cares for the opinions of short-sighted rabble?
I may be giving you a layup.
He is.
You do not look repulsive, Cassia.
Perhaps my appearance does not terrify you right now, but this will not always be so. The navigator gene is unstable. My body is going to change over time. And only the God Emperor knows.
It was the
exactly
nicest
how.
option that didn't lead to any actual romance.
Good. That's what I was looking for. What does it feel like to guide a vessel through the warp?
It may be difficult to describe. You see, every navigator perceives the warp differently. My mentor, Great Regent Elronto, always described his travels through the Immaterium as a journey through a vast wood with countless paths.
Airlock. Psych.
And I,
Now.
assisting him in the first voyages, futilely tried to follow his example. But the wood would not reveal itself to me. But everything changed when I found my own key to this mystery. You see, I've always brightened up my rare moments of leisure time by painting. You may recall there was a workshop in my chambers.
Yeah.
As soon
lots
as I
of red on
imagined
it.
the warp as a blank canvas,
You don't use red
an
paint.
indescribable feeling
Uwe's
came
doing
over
fine.
me. I moved the brush, going deeper and deeper into my own painting. Visions were hidden within the vibrant colors of my palette, and something inside me knew which should be brought out and which should be left behind. I woke up several days later, after the voyage was safely complete.
A couple days after she paints, her painting would be an entirely different color and crunchy.
Ew.
It would be. Think about it.
Ew.
Be less vibrant red than more dirty, dark brown.
Ew.
And it would flake off with the slightest provocation.
It depends on how she mixed the blood in, though.
I'm pretty sure that's just blood.
If it's just pure blood, yes, absolutely. But if it's mixed in, like, actual, like, paint-wise mixed together, no, it'd be fine. Because there's actually there are actually quite a few paintings that still exist today from medieval era and whatnot like that that were painted in blood. And they're fine.
Crunchy.
It's fucking disturbing, but they're fine. I mean, there's still that human leather book that's... I don't remember where it is, but it's around. That
In Ash's trunk.
I guess. Not the Necronomicon. That's not the book I'm talking about. First of all.
So I noticed
God, is she still talking?
that your love of painting is reflected in your speech as well. You associate so many things, so many images with using colors. You hear mostly the fan. Is it mostly the fan?
It's mostly the fan.
Why is it mostly the fan? I am significantly closer to my mic than the fan is.
It's mostly your voice. I just want to make fun of things.
The Emperor graced me with a gift. I can see inner life in addition to the mundane. You cannot know
I can see
that
the
a
inner
fruit
life
is
paranoid.
rotting inside until a blade slices it in two.
You cannot
I
know
can see the rot
that
from
a
far
fruit is
away.
rotten away from the
Why
inside
are you
until it
copying what
plays
you
this.
say?
Oozing through the bright peel.
I'm not
Anger
trying
and
to.
boredom, sadness and joy. Everything that people shut away inside themselves is revealed to me.
I'm in the tired
like
spot,
colours
and
on
I'm
the
tired.
canvas of my world.
Yeah, so why don't we just talk about something else? Not that this isn't
You will hear
interesting
no
or anything.
objection from me, Lord Captain.
Oh God!
Tell me about their house, I guess.
As the only voice of our family
Lord
on this
Imperial,
vessel, it is an honor. As long as your questions are courteous, I will answer every one of them.
Oh, I have a low chance to get this one.
Yep.
About 60%.
About 60%. Is the Othello prophecy system named after your ancestor?
Oh, Sato.
Thelio. Or Thelio.
Or Sado. Fucking Orsato.
Hour and 20 minutes into nothing but dialogue. We're gonna make fun of you. Shut up.
It's something about the double L into an I that just messes with my head.
The only reason it would mess with your head is if you knew Spanish.
I do. I mean, I took 4 years.
I don't mean you know Spanish.
So I don't know Spanish, but by default.
Yeah, I took 2 years of Spanish and I know nothing about Spanish.
While fleeing the enemies of humanity. They say the Emperor himself was his guide, because the warp expelled their vessel without a single loss. Unfortunately, the lips of those who relate this tale seep with disgusting green hubris. I think Kaleb Orselio was simply a skilled navigator.
I take it House Orselio has a rich history?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. The navigators of the house came to the Coronis Expanse fairly recently, a mere 208 years ago. Before that, our ancestors expanded
Notice how they
the
say a
borders of
mere.
humankind's dominion for the glory of the Emperor, blazing trails to different corners of the galaxy.
Once you set the scale big, it kinda...
Oh yeah, no, I know. I am very aware. And the Imperium has been around for... shit.
A minute.
Because technically, the Emperor started his crusade against religion in our day and age. Technically speaking. And by the year 10K, he had completed and made the Space Marines and went into space. And we're in the 40Ks now.
It is 8,000 years into 38,000 years.
Yeah, no, the Imperium has been around for at least 30,000 years. At least. And the Emperor was at the head of it for most of that. He didn't stop being at the head until 30K. 10,000 years ago.
What is this stopping of which you speak?
He's dead.
He's fine.
He's dead, fam.
He's fine.
His life literally just disappeared from the Astronomicon. He's fucking dead, fam.
He's fine.
I know. He's doing his own thing. I am very aware. There's already a bunch of the Emperor.
I would have had to shoot you for heresy.
There's already a bunch of shit about his return. So he dead, fam.
Who rules the house?
Just as a rogue trader stands at the head of a protectorate, a Novator heads a navigator house. It is the Novator who decides where to look for alliances and which path their bloodline is destined to tread. As for our house, the transfer of power to a successor is currently underway. In the meantime, Great Regent
Oh my god, option 3.
Orselio is ensuring the stability
An
of the
epiphany
house.
has happened.
They're not at all trying to be coy about it and hope that you don't notice.
Sorry.
I don't like the young woman purses her lips slightly. Fuck off with your fucking graphic novel fucking bullshit. Oh my god.
Well, they're not doing the actions themselves, so they have to tell you that the actions are happening.
Okay.
I'm sure a fair number of these were in the dialogue that they gave to their voice actors. So if you want them to say something with a bit of a transfer of power is, then you gotta put something in there.
I'm aware, but we don't need to see it.
Well, it also helps if you're just reading it then, because then it gives you a tone. You don't necessarily have to have the accompanying voice track. Voice track.
Oh, I get it. Option 3.
You lived in seclusion on a closed station until Kaleb committed his sabotage. So then you must be the Novator's successor.
So, says Regent Toronto. Nothing is decided yet. Some people in the house become enshrouded in rolling grey clouds at the thought of me becoming the Novateur. But even more are bound with dull leaden chains. They think I am not ready for such a burden.
You've lived isolated for your entire life, so you're the equivalent of an emotional child.
But even more are bound by dull, leaded chains.
So with your permission, I would like to talk about something.
You know one thing, it's art stuff. They're going to use it.
Yeah. Art is something that you can do by yourself in an isolated room.
What does your special sight reveal?
What does your special sight reveal? That's a good question.
Sister
Also, don't ask her about what she does in isolated rooms.
Yeah.
Resolve in those around her, seemingly inexplicably. However, I see a dark and ugly fog billow behind her, contrasting sharply with her shining light. It burdens the Sister of Battle. It drags her down. Yet Argenta herself is
haven't done mine
hardly
in 2
aware
days.
of it.
Because it's not really helping me.
You.
Seneschal Viserion is among the few whose colors are a pleasure to look at. Whenever the Seneschal speaks, heavenly crystal clarity spreads around him. And whenever he is angered, dark blue clouds condense over him. And in his rare moments of joy, a pure gleam of sunset pink caresses the souls of those near him. Out of your entire retinue, Lord Captain, he is the only one I would trust with my life.
Interesting.
I feel as though some near you are wary of your very essence. And one of them looks like a thumb. What's up with that?
You don't comment on her opinion, her appearance.
Oh, but she would.
I don't think she would have commented on
100% she would.
Idira's emotions
She's
are
very
like
much a
maelstrom,
noble.
bright,
no?
Yes.
unbridled, enveloping her form like a wondrous kaleidoscope of colors.
A noble.
And as
Oh,
dangerous
noble.
as a twisting
Well, he's a noble
storm.
too.
The riot of colors hides the truth from my eyes.
She's a look down her
What
nose
exactly
upon
is driving this woman?
the
Is it
lessers
her own
type.
will, or is it the Immaterium, Lord Captain?
These are her servants. It is perfectly normal that they should be maimed and removed from the ability to speak. That is what you do with them. Why would you suggest otherwise?
I see. That's her.
What cares it of mine if this thing that the house does causes great ill to its people? It is what the house does. It is what the house shall continue to do.
Oh, what's that? Part of, like, a very, 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 very small part of a planet you own is quote unquote heretical just because they don't want to die?
They should likely be exterminated and replaced with more.
Exterminatus the entire fucking planet.
It depends upon the resources of the planet. Some are too valuable to simply destroy.
But they will clear half the fucking planet just to make sure.
Easily, for they are replaceable.
This is where I must beg my leave. So I can go
humans,
I have enjoyed
not the
your
good
company.
guys.
Thank you for the conversation.
The orcs are the best
Nothing at
guys.
all. Oh yeah, they're the good guys. Absolutely.
They're the best of them. They just do what they want to do.
Might be fun. They're not the good guys.
Sure they are. They're the best.
For orcs, maybe.
I love how you changed your thing. Why are you talking to Heinrich?
It's not, though. He ran away.
I said, why aren't you?
Because I didn't know. I don't know. I just didn't.
Because his computer's about to be sent to Mars, and he's worried.
It sounds like it wants to explode.
You're fine. Talk to Heinrich.
Hi, Heinrich.
Fairness Master nonchalantly lights an echo stick from a thermal cutter and spreads his arms in a welcoming gesture. Heinrich wants to get your service. He smells of cinders and Iho. His face is sooty, and his belt is laden with a number of heavy tools. You would have taken him for a laborer if it weren't for the greasy and ragged officer's uniform. He narrows his eyes, studying your face, and says with a visible relief, "It's only tales after all. You just don't look like a bringer of woes to me."
What was that about, a bringer of woes?
Do I even need to say it? The moment you came aboard, Lady Theodora perished, so did her arch-militant, as well as half the senior officers, and a quarter of the Infernus Guild along with the previous Infernus Master. What's worse, rations don't taste as good anymore. Fire burns hotter, and that sinister look in your eyes. It's like you're about to put a curse on someone. It's what the Voidsmen say, so it must be true. Boogity boogity boogity.
What if I were to
Oh my god, that's a word and a half. Option 2, that is a word.
Depressurization?
I know, but still.
I need to figure out what type of words it is that I cannot. Because
Porcelli is a problem, but depressurization is on fucking perfectly fine. Come on, man.
Gary Psycher Voodoo. Whoa.
What if I were to put a curse on you there? Very instant. That's the okay thing to say here.
He's
He's
cool
joking
dude.
with him.
Yeah.
He's a cool dude. He's a cool dude.
That'll be a sight. I've never seen a real curse before. My niece will be thrilled to hear all about it.
I kind of like this dude. This is the first one that's okay in my book so far.
Yeah.
So, who are you? Is that a bad thing to ask?
No, you can go through everything. I'm just a humble laborer in charge of putting out fires and dealing with emergencies. But everyone calls me the Infernus Master. I guess this is because I answer for him with my life.
Life, you said.
That's right. Picture flames roaring. All the ship's systems have failed, including the artificial gravity. You can't make out anything because of the red-hot debris, and you know an explosion's coming in. It's a nightmare, but it's your job to evacuate the panic crew, eliminate the cause of the fire, and get the compartment back in working order.
Okay.
Of course, the job description doesn't allow you to risk my life now. It is all about management these days, sending the boys and girls into the flames. But it's all nonsense. And if the going gets tough, I won't leave them there alone.
What kind of emergencies does the Infernus Guild deal with?
There are many. Accidents due to external factors, for example, hits from enemy guns, collisions with hollow objects like the wreckages of other ships. There are plenty of internal causes as well, from system malfunctions and short circuits to problematic cargo. A couple years ago, something blew up in the hold, nearly burnt it to a crisp. And then there's sabotage. That Voidfish snake did a lot of damage to the ship.
Very good. A laborer, you say? And why are you lounging on the bridge?
The simple answer is because nothing's on fire. As head of the Infernus Guild, I'm mired in the officers' routine of reports and discussions. There are several compartment upgrades and refurbishments on the agenda right now, and I have to make sure that fire safety protocols are followed everywhere. Rest assured, I'll scurry back to the technical bays to do manual labor as soon as all the paperwork's done.
Feel free to stay up here for as long as you like. You're the only entertaining person up here. I have other questions for you, though.
Ready to answer them all.
Have you made a confession lately?
Sounds like the start of an interesting conversation. No, I have not.
The orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essentials, have they not?
The bare minimum, yeah. I sometimes check in on our little ragamuffins. They don't have it so easy. No parents, and they live like new recruits in an infantry regiment. Please, your lordship, do not neglect the children.
That means probably was not. Does it hurt to go through all of it?
No, but they're really for the people that made them, but unless you have an inkling as to who made them, this is how you figure it out.
Why are some destined to perish in the war while others must go on living?
Arik takes a long puff, burning up half the stick in one go. I don't know, Lord Captain. I simply don't know. Too many good men have been devoured by the damned warp, and it will never be sated. It's hard to think about it.
Really, you prefer private protection?
You're right. I'm used to talking about important things in heart-to-heart conversations. Like the one we're having right now.
Aren't you a little too relaxed about your Lord Captain? Not that I think there's anything wrong with that.
Perhaps because I live under the constant threat of an agonizing death by fire, I have a repressed, what's the word? Self-preservation instinct? Or maybe I just relish every minute I get to breathe Idaho smoke instead of cinders. I humbly apologize for my manners, Lord Captain.
I think Io's like weed, isn't it?
It's just a cigarette.
Oh, is it just a cigarette? Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like just a cigarette, because it
It's
sounds like it
just
has a
a
little bit of
cigarette.
chemicalness to it.
Well, so do cigarettes. But it's not like a hallucinogen or anything like that. It's that same, like, effect.
There difference between 2 and 3.
Well, in one of them, you draw a puff from a cigarette.
The other one you just fine.
Yeah.
You're an interesting person.
Not half as interesting as you are, Lord Captain.
How did you come in the service of the Von Valencia dynasty?
Itius seems yes that the words yes that causes this the most is this problems is this are the ones is this that cause the yes.
Look, my name ends with a it's just
It does end in an Isius.
Not in the usual way. My ancestors wronged yours and were appointed Inferni as a result. Hard labor, deadly risks, plenty of opportunities to atone. Those criminals have been dead for generations, though, and we are still serving their time.
oh, so
Maybe we shall find redemption one day.
he doesn't actually want to be here. He's kind of forced to be here.
No, he's fine. He's just making fun of your shit.
No. Tell me more about this Infernus Guild.
What interests you the most? Our duty, state-of-the-art equipment, or our vibrant traditions? Our duty. Not the duty.
How is the guild organized?
The Infernus service is split into different brigades according to the duties. The heart of the guild are, of course, our liquidators, tough guys with nerves of steel who put out fires and pull people from fires. Others are repairmen, dealing with problems like jammed doors, fuel leaks, or broken vents. And then there's the walk-in inspectors who check the decks to make sure that nothing's blocking any passages or access to communication lines.
State-of-the-art equipment? That sounds interesting.
That was a bit of a stretch. Sorry, but there's no state-of-the-art equipment. The risks of running it into a fire are too great. We get by using human resources and most common items available: respirators, fire extinguishers, flame-retardant uniforms. Let's face it, the lives of the Inferni aren't worth much. It's much more important that we save the machines and minimize damage to the ship.
What traditions do you speak of? That you spoke earlier and said nothing about in this one.
We have plenty of them, like the reminders. A tattoo inscribed over an old burn mark. When you survive a particularly hopeless accident, you get a tattoo on your scar. You can always tell an experienced infernus by their ink. It's like a badge of honor or such.
He covered in tattoos.
Not in his profile picture.
In the large one, he has one on both of his arms of flame.
Wait.
If you hover over the eye in the top left.
Ah. That'll do it.
Yeah. So, tell me how you got your reminder.
This one's from the time plasma leaked out from the outer aft circuit. Imagine yourself clinging to the hole outside, thermal cutter in one hand and a magnetic clamp in the other, as your flames burst from the breach, the kind that can incinerate you in a second. All that separates you from hot death is a flimsy rope and a void suit more ancient than Holy Terra. And yet the price I paid was nothing compared to my comrades. As for this'n, I got this one in the ammo depot where my wife, Elsinora, died. There was a fire and the flames were getting close to the ammunition. And I don't mean autogun rounds. These were macro cannon shells.
Ooh!
Several stuff was against the same target. I don't know how big those are.
Big.
But considering
Very.
macro is in the name.
I mean, there was a thing you could hover over macro cannon shell.
Yeah, I did bring it up.
We put out the fire as best we could, but we were losing. Suddenly Elsie took my hand, kissed me, and then ran straight into the blaze and activated the emergency blast door. We stayed outside while she vented the compartment. It was quite a story.
I am sorry for your loss, Arik.
He nods.
I've learned all I need. This is enough for now, Arik, unless you want to read that one line. No.
Never let your fire go out, Lord Captain. I mean, no. That's just a little stupid Gildan joke, seriously. If you see an Infernus next to a naked flame, run.
And your dialogue.
Do you want to be thorough?
I mean, I should be thorough. Why?
Because we have Raver, and we have her, and we have him.
We have
Raver.
her.
I can't.
Joke past is maybe a thing to do later because I don't know if he'll go for that.
No, I'm not saying you have to do the fucking romance option, but there is stuff you got to talk about with her.
Yeah, fair.
Like there's a whole lot of dialogue for her.
I also just don't like her.
You don't like her? From what I've
No.
heard, and
She's a fucking asshole.
I don't like her either. So
she's a fucking asshole, and she has a thing for people in power, and it's kind of weird.
She's very corny.
See, I guess. Raver is next. Unless you want to save them for the next time.
We do not have time to do these next time. If there's actually a group of people here, we do not have time for all this shit.
Absolutely not.
I don't know, like people will start dying off, or there'll be more people as we continue.
Now, once you get these out of the way, they're gone.
Yeah.
He's annoyed and he's mad, but he greets to a respectful nod. We have one whose fucking characteristics are annoyed and mad.
I'm scratching my head. Give me a second.
Me.
I know. I know my fucking place. I'm aware. I'm just scratching my fucking head. Lord Captain, Master Helmsman Rainfor at your service.
Lets me go refill my water.
Oh, I wish
Nobody can stop me.
Remind me, who are you? You don't seem very important.
I'm the Master Helmsman, Lord Captain. I stand at the wheel of this here tub, I mean, your vessel,
and bark commands at the idiots who tend to its related systems. In layman's terms, I'm the one who stops us from running into an asteroid or a disruptive gravitational wave when we're traveling through the void.
Oh, so
Very important.
kind of important. Do you control the ship when we're in real space?
I wish that was my only job. I have to steer her through the warp, too. But most of the credit for that goes to the navigator. The warp's a nightmare, always tossing up always tossing up something new. All my years at the helm, they count for nothing in there. My part's small enough just to monitor our systems, follow the charted route, and I don't kick up a fuss when new orders come in from the navigator's sanctum. Real space, now that's where I keep my eyes peeled. Gravitational anomalies, void currents, hard radiation, that kind of shit shows up everywhere. Thank the Emperor, the augurs on this vessel are holding up, and so far, we've been able to spot if something bad's coming our way.
Who are these idiots you're in charge of?
There are too many to list them all. Tech priests from the Engineerium, voidsmen from the augur decks, the work-shy fools on the bridge. I've had every last one of them flogged. I'd have every last one of them flogged. They all need a wake-up call. They need to be whipped into shape, or else this ship will be going nowhere. Or even worse, it'll go somewhere we don't want it to.
So you must have dealings with the navigator as part of your duty. What do you think about her?
Damn it, Lord Captain. Tell the truth, I've been asking myself, where'd the Lord Captain fish this Orselio girl out of? Now, it's not like I've met many navigators, but this one, I don't feel safe with that little princess pulling our void ship through the warp. She's done a decent job so far, though, so I guess she's managing.
She has yet to initiate a void jump.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
He has yet to initiate a void jump. That is correct.
I suppose that's
We will
enough for now.
immediately run into 15 fucking blood letters.
What?
Which happens a lot, actually.
Is there an alternative navigator we could have gotten?
Yes.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah. You can recruit the guy that's like, hey, take out the girl. You can recruit the old man. You don't have to get her.
Oh.
Oh,
You can have a normal navigator.
Yeah, but she's a better navigator.
but she's special, which means she's better.
She is better, but that is simply because they are a party member. As far as functionality goes, they're all the same.
But if you can recruit the old man, even with his... I forgot to hover over his wound while he's
Yeah, you
alive.
go over there, punch him in the head, and then drag him to the Medicaid deck of your ship instead.
Oh, I see. Suppose that's enough for now. Where do I go again? You're Voidborn, are you not?
That I am! Born into a Helmsman clan in the bowels of the Chartist vessel. Studied the family trade until I was 15, when my entire clan was butchered in the mutiny by lowered hold scum. They spared the youngins, of course. Of course they did. Kids with implanted connectors make great navigational servitors, but I was having none of it. They weren't going to make a servitor out of me. So I escaped to the crawlways, and then I spent months picking them off. One after the other. You got me talking up a storm. Anyway, yes, I'm Voidborn.
Just walk on by, crewman. Medina and Caleb are just gonna see a 3-hour Rogue Trader video on my and Thaddeus channels and just be like, "The fuck you guys do? Let's
Talk to
talk."
people.
We ain't talked.
There's lots of people to talk to.
Why aren't you picking an option?
Because I wasn't here, I ran off to go get somebody.
God damn it!
So I'm
He
really
saw a bunch of text and went, "Chance."
You finish your story. Pretty nice.
Not much to tell. I gutted everyone I could get to, and then I fled upward to the middle decks. That's where the auger operators took me under their wing. They have apprentice helmsmen of their own up there, you see. Nobody asked me many questions, so I stayed. I grew up, trained, got smarter, then I ended up a junior helmsman. A dozen years later, Danrock spotted me and lured me away. Cheeky little blighter.
Did you say it was from the lower deck?
No.
Because you said you just ran up to the middle deck.
He
From the lower
was
deck.
I think he mentioned that he was on the higher decks, and then lower deck rabble initiated a mutiny, and he had to flee to the lower decks, killing off as many people as he could until making his way up to the middle deck, where then some people took him in. Because he has helmsman fucking augments, which is not a fucking lower deck thing.
But he got taken in by people on the middle deck.
Yes, because of the mutiny that happened on the ship he was on. He lived most of his life as a lower deck rabble because he had to, and he also killed off a lot of lower deck pieces of shit, making his way up to the middle decks.
So he is from the lower deck. At least lived there for a long time.
In a technicality sense, yes, but he's an upper decker.
Have you made a confession lately?
No, I'm up to my connectors and work as it is.
I do not have an option to just skip past it. So why are some destined to perish in the war while others must go on living?
Those some weren't trying hard enough or listening to their higher-ups is all. Or has someone you know died on you and I'm supposed to offer my sympathies? Odd choice of person to come to with something like that, Lord Captain.
The orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essentials, have they not?
Damned if I know, Lord Captain. If you ask me, our orphans have it worlds better than they would have on other ships.
Thank you for your answer. It was definitely not.
I'll be blasted if I understand a thing, but I'm here to serve.
I can see
Something else you'd like to discuss?
I'm sorry, I skipped the whole sentence. Just blocked it out. Something else. I can see you're not Gregorius type.
The gregarious type.
Gregorius type.
It's Garius, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no air there, but it should be Garius.
Gar, G-A-R. Gregor.
G-A-I-R would make sense, but it's not there.
Area, A-R-E-A.
Anyway. Have I done something to displease the Lord Captain? This eye twitches.
On the contrary, you are the first person on the bridge who's not tripping over themselves to lick my boot. Which isn't true, because...
He's not licking your boots.
Not that. Other guy is over there on the other side. He also doesn't care that I exist.
Well, he's eager to please. What are you talking about?
On the contrary. person on the bridge not tripping over themselves to lift my boot?
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm pleasantly surprised myself that you aren't having me flogged for insubordination. Well, wonders never cease.
Grooming.
Connecting wires. Once they go into the control panel, I become one with the ship. Except the bloody cogs messed up the wires, stimulus injectors, and connectors when they implanted them. They twisted the wires the wrong way or burned something in my noggin. Anyway, can't sleep. It just doesn't happen anymore. I've been 30 years of non-stop stimulants and a splitting headache. So you'll forgive me if I'm not all smiles, Lord Captain.
He's been awake 30 years.
Can't
More or
go to
less.
sleep anymore.
And he can't.
We just can't do it.
The life of a helmsman. That shit happens a lot.
Really, anybody with phlegmatics in their mind.
Yeah, but
Because oopsie poopsie, and then a tech priest comes along.
The helmsman
infants
augments are
and
very,
wheels.
very specific, though.
Well, yeah, it's more of a neural interface.
I mean, fucking Space Marines don't sleep either.
They don't have to.
No, because they have circadian half cyclers where they can turn off part of their brain, and the other half wakes up.
This is just a dude,
This is just a dude
I
who's
know.
hopped up on coffee.
basically.
He's space.
Not even coffee. He is hopped up on cocaine. Like people in World War II. Like he is so far above just coffee. He'd be saying recaf and shit like that if he was hopped up on just coffee.
Yeah. Huh.
He's probably the one responsible for candling the fuck out of all these candles. I just looked around.
The one for every day he's been awake. It would only make sense.
That would make sense, and that's why he's allowed the candle today.
Like I just like looked at the screen and it's like, Jesus
Look
Christ.
at the throne. Look at the throne in the top left.
That's over there. That wasn't even on my screen.
Well, it is on mine.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking throne over there in the top left. Well, you can't turn the camera, so it
Yeah, you
should
can.
be on your screen. I can't turn the camera.
Hold middle
Press
click.
Q.
I can turn the camera. God, the throne! Oh my God, the throne!
It's bright.
Jesus Christ!
So, tell me about the Voidborn. Voidborn.
Lord Captain, I mean no disrespect, but you'd do better to find someone with a knack for conversation, like Ptolemy. The new Vox Master. I ain't the talking type. I just get the ship where she needs to go. Best let folks stick to what they know best.
I feel like we need to try to have Kaleb be Jocasta.
Okay.
They come up enough that we need someone dedicated to reading them. And I feel like he'd have some fun with it. It's only an added bonus that they may or may not bang immediately.
What can you tell me about the other officers?
Good for nothing wasters. That's what they are.
Oh.
Ow. Each and every one. Take Janris Danrock, that highborn weasel. He fawns
I'm
over
sorry.
the officers, but some of the deals he makes would get him burned alive. He drags other people into his schemes so they can take the fall for him too. One of my junior helmsmen was ferrying goods from Footfall for him, got caught by the Seneschal, and ended up in the Void Hatch. Danrock couldn't care less.
Why didn't you say anything?
Because the Seneschal outranks him, technically.
Yes, because Lady Theodora was known for having a kind demeanor,
Oh yeah, never mind.
Too.
overflowing with compassion.
The Vox Master, another Ptolemy,
like the last one, Void rest him, is no better. She cut off half the Vox channels the day she took up her post. Said the Vox systems were damaged and the Engineerium had no contact with other modules. But how am I supposed to steer the ship? Collect the COGS reports with the power of my mind?
Yes. Like, isn't that what your
That's
augments are
what
for?
you into the ship for. Exactly.
Like, I know I don't understand everything.
Hit the continue button.
But that feels like what he's supposed
First
to do.
Officer Wasarian, I can't stand him. Like every Navy officer I've ever met, he doesn't know a thing about controlling a vessel in the void, but he puffs himself up all the same and throws his weight around. Me and him had to have words a few times before he left me alone. Think the Emperor Lady Theodora trusted me more than the Seneschal when it came to helming a void ship. Then there's that woman. What's her name? Tlas? Ugh. Lady Theodora brought her along wherever she went, and look what happened to her. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out it was that witch that delivered her to an early grave, just like the countless souls before. I don't see why anyone would want a walking calamity on their ship. But some would disagree. They say she's friends with young Ptolemy, or at least she used to be.
I wonder what would have happened if Idira was with Theodora, because I know what happened there.
I don't remember how she died.
I don't think you had the option to learn.
I don't know.
Because the only way you do learn is if you bring certain people with you on Chapter 3. And I do not believe you had them in your party.
I didn't bring Idira. I brought Pascal.
I will not state what, nor will I give a list of what. I'm just saying it's one of the secret dialogues you get depending on who you take with you.
No, I know. I'm just saying I brought Pascal.
Like Abelard's wife.
Abelard.
And all that shit.
So,
I brought
is there a possibility of
Abelard,
actually getting that in this playthrough?
Very, very low.
Because
So I'll simply tell you whenever we get there.
Yeah.
It doesn't come up. It's just information you get and a chance to kick them out of your retinue. But why would you do that? It's because of them that you have the power you currently have. Really, they did you a favor.
Mhm.
Tell
I'll keep that in
me,
mind.
do you like anyone at all?
Yeah, tell me, do you like anyone at all?
What kind of a question is that? I'm like you and Lady Theodora before you. Where would I be if I was making cracks about the rogue trader? I don't want to die just yet.
I'd probably just leave you here to continue piloting the ship because I don't want to do it myself.
Well, the thing is, what he's saying there is, if he was making cracks literally anywhere else about the rogue trader, he would be voided.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be out an airlock immediately.
So, I must take my leave. I have like 3 more people to talk to, and this recording's already 2 hours long.
We will collect your augmetics from your frozen corpse.
Lord Captain.
Enjoy the void.
Goodbye to you.
Where the fuck is Ptolemy?
Who?
The person he was talking about. Because this isn't Ptolemy. This is Vigdis.
And those earlier guys were pirates.
Fair.
A thin pale woman stands out among the rest of the crew. There is a thick bundle of cables coming out of the back of her skull and disappearing under her ceremonial garment. And you see the grate of a quietly humming vox where her mouth should be. The woman sees you and bows her head in a respecting greeting. I can't possibly replicate what that would sound like. So, how may I serve you, Lord Captain?
Remind me, who are you? I know you stand here next to my throne all day, but,
Oh, let me give a second for that one. Voxmaster Octavus Vigdus Seriota of the Ptolemon dynasty, the current Voxmaster serving aboard your vessel. In accordance with the Seneschal's orders, I assumed this duty immediately upon the demise of the esteemed Voxmaster Septimus. Voxmaster! I got the first part in the nectar! Septimus, who was my grandson.
I'm gonna call you out here. You said Nectar on the first Voxmaster.
Nectar.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. But I got the special name right.
Yeah, you did. You got Thomas Victus Seriata out just fine, but you said Nectar.
Why is it that simple things are so hard for me?
Who was my grandfather?
what are the Voxmaster's duty? What do you do? Why do you just stand here?
I am the ears and voice of this void ship. I supervise several dozen officers and 3 times that number of support personnel. We receive, send, encrypt, and decode all incoming and outgoing messages through the ship's internal and external channels. And we also ensure clean communications and the optimal efficiency of the crew's Voxcasters.
So you're glorified radio.
If you ever want to know what worries or concerns your crew are harboring, what your subjects are whispering about in local networks after their watches, and what their leaders are clamoring about over shortwave Vox transmissions, just come and see me. I will satisfy your curiosity.
What is considerably the lop-eared Kleppa's the confession? What?
Lower your voice conspiratorially.
Conspiratorially. Oh.
And you can also get rumors from her, which give you side quests.
Yes.
Oh, so she's a side oh, why didn't you leave with that?
Well, they're just rumors, so they're not really side quests.
But yeah,
But
here in your journal, like your side quest. So, have the Vox Spirits brought you anything interesting lately?
Forgive me, Lord Captain. I have no information that would be of interest to you at this moment. Maybe once you are past Chapter 1.
And actually have access to the void map.
Which is gonna be a thing. Like,
Oh,
I don't think...
Oh, God.
See, the problem is, there's going to be an initial whatever of these companion characters showing up and doing things, and that's an all-hands-on-deck thing. But, like, clearing that shit is not an all-hands-on-deck thing. Because nobody else can even participate in the space battles, for one. We get to sit there and watch. I don't know, you might be able to give us temporary control of, like, your torpedoes or your fighter craft.
Nope.
Which also, just don't use the torpedoes.
Torpedoes are okay.
Don't use torpedoes.
Well, you want a torpedo base so you can have fighters, because fighters are the best.
Well, you need torpedo bay, but only use fighters.
Yeah, you don't need torpedo.
Okay.
That's a later thing. I probably spent, like, 10 hours doing that shit. It's
Easily.
long.
Easily.
It's very long.
Your appearance is unique.
Your appearance is unique. You're a Voidborn, are you not? I don't mean to insult you at all. Just...
Is it the head tubes that gave it away?
No, it's the pale skin.
My appearance comes from my heritage. Generation after generation of people who spent their entire lives in the depths of this void ship. Neither we nor our ancestors have ever left our home, but the same can be said about many denizens of the Imperium's million worlds. We are used to the silence of the cosmos and the voices of the ship. There are thousands of us, but we dwell far from the Lord Captain's upper decks and remain unseen. We are the Voidborn.
Where does the word Voidborn come from? I mean, I know it's born in the void, but still. Where's it come from?
Because we are the children born in the void. Between the stars, be it the womb of a traveling vessel, an orbital satellite, or a forgotten asteroid station. Low gravity voyages through the warp and the countless dangers of space travel. Everything others hate and dread is second nature to us.
Tell me about the lives of the Voidborn on my crew. Is there anyone else besides the other three I've talked to?
They're most of your forces. People
Yeah.
live, are born, live, and die in this ship. To us, the
All the
groans,
you
creaks,
just
and
talked to
murmurs
are
of the
Voidborn.
ship sound the way babbling brooks and singing birds do to the world dwellers. We hear the ship breathe, know what it is feeling and thinking. We are a part of the ship, just like it is a part of us. We perform numerous functions, and there are many officers among our number. Some maintain order and prevent mutiny, others serve as shepherds and support the crew. Some devote themselves to mending the body and spirit of the vessel. Most of the Voidborn are members of a large void ship dynasties that bear responsibility for a certain aspect of the ship's life. For 300 years, the main branch of the Tulaman dynasty has produced the ship's Voxmasters, and most of our subordinates come from the cadet houses of the dynasty.
300 years sounds like a long time. But it really's not. It's really not that long.
The United States is 2.5 people old.
Yeah.
The United States is 2.5 hundred years old.
250 years. A little over that now, but
Close.
76.
How do you find life on the ships?
Life has been quite generous to me, Lord Captain. I am the Voxmaster, and only the best in the dynasty can become one. By virtue of my skills and position, no one has ever denied me anything. My family claims a spacious section for its demesne. I also enjoy long walks through the narrow and dimly lit corridors of the ship, listening to the sounds of her activity, falling asleep and waking up to the chanting of hymns, and admiring the stars beyond, of course.
How do others on the ship treat you?
We look, speak, and move differently from the inhabitants of the planetary worlds. Our way of life, traditions, and quirks frighten these people just like the darkness of the cosmos. Many believe us to be the bringers of ill fortune, and alas, it is the Voidborn who get the blame for terrible warp phenomena during longer voyages.
Oh, so it's not like
No, those are a different kind of mutant, more heretical and less accepted. Several years ago, an unfortunate warp jump caused all the food on board to spoil. 15 days later, a hungry and furious crew nearly massacred everyone on the lower decks, blaming us for the misfortune and hoping to restock the larders with our flesh. I would have been killed during the mutiny had Idira Talas not shown up in the right place at the right time. She came to my rescue, and the scoundrels' fear of her was even greater than their fear of the Voidborn. Because
she can
psychers
summon
are
demons.
scary. Like I just said. Quote Arik, literally psychic and hates it.
I feel like I've misunderstood Psychers. But it looks like you're close friends with Idira. Why is that? Besides,
Webs of tiny wrinkles appear at the corner of Vigdis's eyes. The only hint that the Voxmaster is smiling. The Voidborn seldom make friends, especially among the captain's entourage. But, you see, many consider Idira to be different. I'm different too. We've spent plenty of time in each other's company, discussing regicide over a glass of Amstack.
Regicide is chess.
Yeah.
Except Idira changed after one incident, and we started to drift apart. The death of Lord Captain Theodora made her withdraw even more. I do not know if Idira considers me her friend now, but we used to be very, very close. It is good I can still look after her, in my own way.
Aha!
I succeeded, interpreting the Voxmaster's emotions based on half a face and a Vox-modulated voice is fucking difficult. No, it's not. Look at those numbers. But you managed to catch the undercurrent in Vigdis's words. The Voxmaster is not merely saddened by her rift with Idira, she's devastated by it.
Have you ever left the ship? If you were born and raised here?
Oh, I did once. It was dreadful. I felt like the massive blue dome overhead could shatter at any moment and fall, and my bones would be crushed by the gravity. The ship is my home, Lord Captain, and I would not trade it even for the bounty of 100 worlds.
I see. Let us return to business. Is this worth doing right now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
The fellowship one?
Unless
Yeah,
you
it's
fuck
a-
up.
It doesn't do anything unless you fuck up, but you have a 95% chance to succeed.
ca-
But
it-
you
it's
should,
free
you're
XP.
probably gonna fuck up.
Don't say
It's
that.
free XP.
Eric is here.
It's free XP.
It's.
I
not
bring with me a
automatic, it's
5%
just
chance
you.
to fail.
It's just you. It is not Eric doing it. It's just
I mean,
you.
Eric is here, and he always fails the high, impossible to fail challenges. So you might bring that curse over to me. He's here and record.
Press the button.
Oh, you'll be fine. Hit the button.
Connect me to the vessel's main channel. I was to boost the morale of my crew.
Woo!
Her red name freaked me out for a heartbeat.
Yeah.
The Vox Master nods obediently and presses several switches on the device she's holding. It is done, Lord Captain.
Continue.
64 is greater, or is less than, whatever.
You address the crew with a rousing speech and hear your voice roll through the ship, reaching even the normally quiet corners of the vessel. When the broadcast ends, you hear distant shouts of approval.
Lower your voice conspiratorially. The loftier clever. The confession.
I assume you heard my confessional message. Do you wish to talk about it?
The important question is, why?
I want a pair of clevels aboard my ship.
Give me the bonies.
I mean, I want to choose that one, but also I want to know why.
Follow your heart.
Is there only... Do I only
You'll
get
be
just
fine.
one of these?
You only get one.
Important question is why.
God damn it.
You get more
I
than
was-
one.
I was fault checking the Vox devices in the ship's reliquary. Message recording works, but deletion does not. You have helped me establish that. Thank you. Careful there. If there's something that you want to pick and you're not sure if it'll show up again, you should pick it. Because it may not show up again.
Ever.
Okay, I want a pair of peppers on the board.
I am going to quote my mother's response. That is impossible. You see, the species went extinct several centuries ago. I am very sorry, Lord Captain. There aren't any kleppas to be had.
Why lock your peppers specifically?
At that time, I had nothing to repent of, so I dictated an excerpt from an old letter to my mother. As you heard, it contained arguments in favor of keeping lop-eared kleppas on the ship. I can still recite it from memory.
Your confession perplexed the initiate. Find a way to delete it, and we shall forget about it.
Will do, Lord Captain. Would you like to discuss other matters?
I mean, I kinda want a bunny for the ship. That'll be all for now.
I live to serve, Lord Captain.
And you die.
Are we not gonna do Jocasta waiting on,
Yocasta should be Caleb.
Okay.
But that still leaves Janivis there, and also you need to talk to Idira again.
Yep.
Which you seem to be ahead of me on.
Yep. Hey, Adira. You don't have anything new to say.
That one's new.
Got a new
It's not
story
grayed
for
out.
me, Adira?
You bet I do, Lord Captain.
Oh, yay. Voice.
I think that it might be somewhere in the, other options. I know you can talk to her about it.
Oh my.
Wow.
We went to Footfall.
Oh,
once.
she's talking about
Here
it.
now.
I mean, Lord Captain Theodora went to Footfall
No,
a
he's not.
lot. But on that occasion, she took me with her for some reason. My day had gotten off to a bad start. My head had been yammering
always
since
just
I
skip it.
woke up. But there was nothing else for it. I had to go. We arrived at the place. And what a place! All the gentlemen and ladies dressed to kill, showing off their encrusted implants, all clustered around little tables. Well, Turned out it was a gaming den. And not just any gaming den, but one run by somebody with deep pockets for people with just as much cash to splash. You should have seen it. People gambling away planets in a game of regicide. Anyway, so the Lord Captain wanted me to help her beat some guy. So I tell her, the chips won't land in your favor. You'll get a bad hand. Don't sit down at that table, your ladyship. But did she listen? Of course she didn't. If there's one thing she never lacked, it's stubbornness.
Continue.
So they sat down in the carts
my
with
God.
I'm hovering around like I'm not involved, but I'm keeping my eye on things. And everything in my head keeps getting louder and louder. Anyway, it's a good thing I realized in time that my mind wasn't going haywire over a losing hand, but something else. I made some excuse to drag the Lord Captain up from the table and took her away from that place. And a few minutes later, the room where we'd been... It turned out some wise guy had the same bright idea to bring a pet psyker along with him. One of those
At least
ones
you
who
acknowledge your
just
place.
scuttle around in Footfall's underbelly. And the psyker just freaked out, I guess. After all the commotion, people went to see what happened in the room. And they'd all gone for each other's throats. Literally. With
This doesn't
teeth.
seem that there's an option to talk to her about it right now.
And I think they completely detached that asteroid from Footfall and pushed it off into open space so it would head off toward the local star.
It's worth hitting the options because if there's something that lights up, it won't light up on the first one, but it will light up in the secondary options.
Lyra, an outlying world in the heat. It's an out of the... Oh,
That is...
There's
What?
no such thing as a
That's
peaceful
that.
life on Lyra. Of course, Lord Captain.
What?
Like, it might be connected to her, like, loneliness or things like that.
What do you mean her?
I know that
loneliness?
you said it, well, she talks about that whenever goes over what it's like being a psyker.
You could ask yourself that question, Lord Captain? Every psyker feels their
Not this
connection
time.
with the warp
Not
in
this
their
time,
own
no.
way.
I was just going
One
to
It
person
may
can
be-
see spots and shadows out of the corner of their eye. Another feels fingers running down their spine. Sure thing.
Maybe later.
No, it should be here.
Meaning
Yeah.
that we'll have to talk to her again later.
I'm just
Of
done
course.
talking to you for now.
Always.
Goodbye.
In my thing, I talked to Vigdis first, and it was there whenever I then
Yeah.
went to go check with one idea.
I did the same in my own. It's not in here. I'm just checking to see if there's anyone else to talk to.
You can hit the map button and it'll tell you.
No, it won't. Yeah, it will.
Will.
It will.
I know.
We've been here for
So
3
demanding.
hours. We've been here
Very
for
long.
3 hours.
4.5.
Hi.
2.5 with just us. Pleasure to see you, Lord Captain. How may I be of assistance?
Remind me, what do you do besides just sitting here staring at this weird computer?
As the High Factotum, my duties encompass anything that might enrich you and your protectorate. I see to it that suppliers deliver on all shipments on time, that our partners do not weasel out of their promises, and that our servants remember that the Emperor's grace can only be earned through toil for the good of the Von Velasius dynasty. I also make arrangements to ensure that our hold receives less than thorough inspections by port customs officers, and I find buyers for whatever you wish to sell.
So whether it's stolen goods or legitimate stuff, you make sure it's sold and not found.
I will find a buyer, Lord Captain.
Have you made a confession lately?
Goddamn
Your
bugs.
Lordship, you are truly masterful at springing unexpected questions on a man. However, I must admit I don't quite understand this one.
The orphans on the ship have already been provided for with the bare essentials, have they not? This is the first time this one is the second object and not the first.
I will not pry into how your lordship found out about my confession. I suppose it raised some questions for you.
feels almost insulting. You have a good heart, it seems. I am surprised.
He's the money guy.
And has been said by 3 different people that he is not a good person.
Yeah.
Well, he's the money guy.
I still want to pick that option. Is there any reason why I should not pick that option?
Might be okay.
Whoops.
As am I, to tell the truth. Sensitivity is a vice and one responsible for ensuring the dynasty's prosperity. However, I cannot help it, which is why I unburdened my soul in confession.
I am willing to allocate extra resources to provide for the orphan.
I marvel at your generosity. Will there be any specific instructions, your lordship? Give them candy.
Ooh.
Excuse me.
I can either make sure that they
Make
get
them
little
king.
moments of joy, or trust him with this matter and spend as much as he deems necessary. So I trust you with this matter. Spend as much as you deem necessary.
The children will know that you are their benefactor. As for me, I can assure you that I will find ways to procure enough funds to cover the expenses.
How did you come to serve the Von Valencia dynasty?
I come from Dargonius, your lordship. I have been a subject of your dynasty since...
Dargonius?
Yes.
Dargonus. There's no I there.
Airlock? I've been a subject of your dynasty since birth, and have always strived to be of use to the Great Road Trader. Alas, it was not my fate to be the primary heir of my own family. Due to my being 15th in line for the title, so I decided not to stand in the way of those behind me in case they attempted to shorten the waiting list at my expense.
Just continue past that. No need to call attention to it.
While my brothers and sisters schemed against one another, I studied the exact sciences and mastered bookkeeping, the greatest art of the Adeptus Administratum. I must admit that the accumulation of wealth, something one can control, is far more exciting than hunting, carousing, and other traditional amusements of my noble peers.
I have a mole. Oh, he does have a mole.
All rich people have moles, don't you know that?
I thought they were just something on my screen. No. What was it like working with Theodora?
Oh, now that is a tricky question. Do you ask it of everyone, knowing they risk losing their head should they let slip a careless remark about your predecessor? I'll put it thusly. Working with Lady Theodora was never boring and always profitable. The Imperium has billions of subjects, but very few do what they love and what they are best suited to. I would say Lady Theodora was one of the fortunate ones. She was a model rogue trader, and she surrounded herself with those who excelled at and loved their work. Hers was a rare talent indeed.
I wish to know what you think of your fellow crew member.
Keeping tabs on your subordinates. A wise move. Tell me who interests you, and I'll endeavor to be as honest as possible.
Tell me what you think about Conchel Abelard Versarian.
Lady Theodora managed to do what even the Imperial Navy could not. Teach Master Viserion to carry out orders that he fundamentally disagrees with. I do not know what method she used, but the result is impressive. Having said, there is something else you need to know. Lord Captain, your Seneschal is capable of being something far greater than a mere conduit for your will. He possessed the cunning and experience to run the Protectorate passively whenever Lady Theodora was away. And that, really, is saying something. Keep an eye on that old officer, I say. Or, alternatively, turn him into a faithful ally.
I'd like to hear your opinion of Kunrad Gaultier.
Close enough.
The former
Void
master of Whisper.
Beer.
Void. He is throwing me off. The former master of Whisper.
I hope I never see him set foot aboard this vessel again, not even as a servitor. Although he would be able to do at least some good that way. Someone has to clean the latrines after all. He gave us all quite a fright on that ill-fated night, Lord Captain. And still, to speak candidly, I never enjoyed Master Voidfier's company. But I believed him to be a man who knew how to do his job. Regretfully, I was mistaken. It turned out Kunrad lacked the most important quality of a Master of Whispers, unwavering loyalty to the rogue traitor, and his failing came to light in the most deplorable manner.
What do you have to say about the Foxmaster? The Foxmaster.
Haha, yes, the Voidborn. You know, in my family, we use such creatures as quarry whenever we went hunting. Mutants are the bane of humanity, an unseen tumor that threatens to end us all. But I digress. In the brief time Toloman has spent in post as Voxmaster, I have not noticed any significant flaws in her character, or anything that would make me question her professional qualities. Needless to say, she is very diligent, as is any Voidborn seeking to earn their master's affection. I believe you can trust in her skills and loyalty.
I want to discuss something else.
As you say, your lordship.
I feel like this guy harbors not regrets, but certain thoughts about Psychers as well.
Everyone should! You explode into demons!
That's perfectly fine. As long as we don't explode into demons, you shouldn't judge us for it.
What?
Have you ever seen me explode into a demon?
I do not accompany you on your away missions, Lord Captain.
I want to know more about the people who buy our... I want to know more about the people who buy our plunder.
Exposition, double-edged girl. Of course, Lord Captain, who interests you? Exactly. We most often deal with the followers of St. Drusus, the Explorators, Kasbalika Mission, or Emperor Forgive Us, the Fellowship of the Void.
That's a lot of people that I don't really care about.
It is a lot.
I would skip it, but I've gone through every dialogue option for everyone else.
Exposition!
What do the followers of St. Drusus acquire from us? Drusus? Drusus.
The Drusarians are still hope to bring the Coronus Expanse into the warm embrace of the faith, just as their flock hopes to receive the aid of the Drusarian missionaries. Each crate of food, shipment of cloves, or box of medicine marked with your seal is a sign the rogue trader himself believes in the sect's future success. Reverend Hieronymus is the first among the Drusarians and is most often seen in football's grand
atrium.
Reverend Hieronymus is the first among the Drusarians and is most often seen in Footfall's Grand Atrium. A gloomy fellow, but some almost believe him to be a saint. I think I accidentally footfall into football, and then it was downhill from there. I tried to pull it back, I couldn't do it.
I was going to question it. But I know I've heard you say more complicated words than atrium.
Well, yeah, it's footfall. I read as football. And then I went... Because my brain went, you said that wrong, idiot.
Tell me more about the Explorators.
I got past fucking Reverend Hieronymus.
Yeah, you did. You really...
Even though that's not how you say his name.
It is now. They can correct me with a voice log if they want.
Voice logs.
Hieronymus.
They will not say a voice log of his name. So fuck him.
No. His name is Hieronymus now. Tell me more about the Explorators.
Members of the Explorator Cognizance Fleet, which has been roaming the Coronus Expanse for a good while now. Omnissiah knows what they are hoping to find, but their acolytes regularly show up on inhabited worlds seeking bits of sacred knowledge, tracking down mechanical relics, and sniffing out Xeno artifacts. If truth be told, supposedly they want to save the ignorant rabble from corruption. A tech priest named Opticon22 does business with us on the fleet's behalf. He can be found at the docks on Footfall.
His name has numbers in it?
Oh boy. Let's not talk about the Mechanicus.
Please.
Like, I guess
Whenever they're not speaking in ones and zeros at us is a fucking godsend.
I thought it was just the servitors that were robots.
No, they're not robots.
Well, they're
they're
not
people.
robots. They're people who died and then were.
No. Servitors are not people who died.
They're not just robot zombies. They're just people
No.
who have many parts replaced with robot
Servitors are
metal.
robot zombies.
They're robot zombies, but they're not people who died. They were turned into that where they were still alive.
They could also have been dead.
Technically. But serval skulls are also the same thing. And so are cherubs.
Cool. I'm interested in
The mechanics upgrade themselves.
Yeah, that I did know. I'm interested in the Cabasilia mission.
Masters of the cold trade, immoral criminals, and notorious crooks to the last man. The mission is but one branch of this mafia gang that has taken root in the Galaxis sector. You can do business with them as long as you take the necessary precautions. They're led by Vladam Tokara, who recently appointed himself Liege of Footfall. Of course, he is a trusted ally of Rogue Trader Winterscale, but he will not refuse you. Another of the Emperor's anointed. If you wish to speak to Vladam, look for him in the Liege's palace on Footfall.
What is this Fellowship of the Void?
A pompous name, is it not? In truth, they are a gang of pirates who are forever squabbling over loot and territory. However, some of their little flotillas need supplies or can take awkward cargo off our hands without asking questions. Of course, there is always a risk that these scoundrels will change their mind and attempt to board us instead, but so far our macro cannons have managed to keep them in line. They say Ryza Cavera speaks on the Fellowship's behalf. The Adeptus Amesicus on Footfall is rumored to be her favorite haunt.
Why are we giving away our spoils to these people in the first place?
To profit from them, of course. Most of the things you will find during expeditions are complete junk to one such as yourself, but the less fortunate and affluent servants of the Emperor think them treasures, especially when they are bestowed by the great rogue trader himself. Dressarian fanatics and pirate cutthroats, Casbalica dealers, and explorators. None will refuse our help in these dark and trying times, and there may come a time when we shall be the ones requiring aid, and it would be beneficial to have the allies willing to prove it.
I suggest we change the subject.
Certainly, Lord Captain.
We really suggest this. I would like to replace the painting of late Theodora in my team. No.
Why don't you want to hang your portrait?
Because I haven't gone to go look at it yet.
It's just Theodora! Now you can put your portrait there!
Yeah,
In fairness, you can do that on your own really quickly.
I can do that on my own really quickly, so I can go look at that on my own. Barrett, you and I are in need of training?
No. No.
Don't click
no.
on that. I was looking
Don't
at
click
that.
on that.
Oh, enough questions for now.
That's
Shall
respec.
return
We
later.
will be using that later.
More than likely, we will be reusing that quite a lot, but...
I shall await your instructions, Lord Captain.
In the dive.
This lift over here.
That lift over there takes me to
your quarters.
My quarter.
Specifically. While you are here, you can look around at various things that you have managed to do. This hall here will fill up with stuff as we do more missions. That's the painting that would be replaced.
It'll fill up with trophies. And this is Lady Theodora.
With her Bram Stoker-ass butthead.
I'm assuming if they replace it with my picture, it'll be whatever my main...
It'll be your current portrait. Yeah, it'll be your current portrait.
Like your full body one, but still.
Anything to see in here, go look at.
Don't click on the cogitator that has people's names.
Yeah.
Well, that's like a thanks list. I think that'd be like crowdfunding or things like that.
Yeah.
Default has nothing in it.
Except what you put in it.
Yeah. You can put things you want to keep, but that aren't necessarily useful to you in it.
And some things you can't just shove in the cargo, but have no place in your inventory.
Like the sword.
Like the sword shard that I have in my inventory now.
Yeah.
It might behoove you to just hold on to that until you can get rid of it.
Correct. Can't go in there yet.
Bedroom
You can never go in there.
Yeah, he can never go in there, actually. You're right.
Unfinished letter. Yeah, what's this over here? A cracked data slate with ones and zeros. It's in the inventory.
Oh,
hey. Look at it.
God fucking Caleb.
Jesus fucking Christ.
He's
What?
just there.
Caleb?
I'm in the inventory screen.
Oh.
Yeah, when you go to the inventory screen, you see Caleb's fucking profile picture.
I see, yep.
Now this guy over here.
If you want to throw Cassia my way, I can level her up.
This guy over here lets me take a bath.
Yeah, and you can call your companions here and have little scenes with each of them. Most of them do nothing, and you're safe to call all of them without doing anything weird.
It doesn't
Correct.
change anything if I call any
But
of
you want to wait until you have all the companions.
You also want to wait until your stats are a little better.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, doing your ablutions gives you a or
Give me
bathing.
a little bonus.
It gives you a little buff, but it's not that great.
That can wait till later.
Yeah.
You will end up in this office again.
Yeah. Anyone else I need to just go talk to? Just talk. I'm gonna go get the picture and play.
I think you've already talked to everybody that we have access to right now. Besides Jocasta, but we're waiting on Caleb for that.
There's that other the shrine. Or the not shrine.
Don't go there.
No, don't go there.
That's a whole different thing. So I'm just
I've also
gonna-
given
we
that
can-
person to Medina for a reason.
We can go to the ship, like off camera, and buy things. Like it doesn't have to be on camera.
Well, we won't be able to get there.
Oh hey. And you
Fair,
dialogue
yeah,
option.
that's right. Fucking whatever. Yeah, I'll grab.
Pleasure to see you, Lord Captain. How may I be of assistance?
First, I would like to change the portrait. Name my portrait instead.
It will be done, your lordship.
Cool. Have you heard of the name Fiery Reckoning? From what I can tell, it's a voice ship of some sort. There was a mention of it in one of Theodora's documents I found.
I am afraid it's not immediately familiar to me, your lordship. Please allow me. Ah, I say, House von Valencius did indeed sign a contract with the owners of a vessel with the designation Fiery Reckoning. There are transactions, records of the ship picking up cargo from Kiava Gamma. This is odd. The data log ends here. Apparently the ship had some interactions with one of the workshops in your industrial world. I beg your pardon, your lordship, but that is the extent of the assistance I can provide you in regard to this particular matter.
That's enough questions. Thank you. I shall return later.
I shall await your instructions.
Now let's see everyone I've talked to.
I think.
Hmm?
I think. Wow.
So,
I was away, and then the camera just flung.
sorry, I just need to go talk to people. I don't want to talk to Huntsman. Do you know anything about the... Yeah, James, go on.
Lord Captain, Master Helmsman Rever at your service.
Do you know anything about the ship named the Fiery Reckoning?
I've heard the name, but that much I'm sure of, but I can't much recall the details. I wonder if it was a part of the operation that the late Mort wasn't put in charge of. If it were, then that's nothing I can tell you. The whole thing was kept under wraps. Your best chance will be to ask the High Factotum. Maybe some of his treasury records have mentions of this fire reckoning.
I must take my leave.
Aye.
Goodbye. So you're not useful. I've already asked you. Hey, Adira, do you know anything about the fiery reckoning?
Their way.
No, you don't.
Of course.
That's everyone. Everyone I can talk to here.
2 hours and 50 minutes later of pure dialogue.
It's just a dialogue chapter.
And we're missing several companions.
A lot of companions.
I mean, we've only
And
met...
some of them you won't get until chapter 3.
Yeah. We have every companion that I've met so far. Which is
Give
my
Argenta
goal.
a shotgun, please. Oh wait, we don't have a bunch. I thought we picked up a bunch of shotguns. What happened to them all?
We didn't
Get
get
the
any
cargo.
shotguns.
Well, get them out of the cargo. What are you doing?
We don't have any shotguns.
Yeah, we do. Check cargo.
What are you doing putting shotguns in cargo?
I didn't put any shotguns in cargo.
Get out of there.
Sniper rifle. We don't have any shotguns.
You don't need... Hey, you do, right there. What the fuck are you talking about?
Does everybody have medium armor at least?
4.
No, why would I have medium armor?
Well, people that wear armor.
Everybody that needs it, yeah.
How'd those get added to cargo so quickly? Who did that?
Adira has light armor.
Also,
She
your
doesn't-
Xeno blade shards in the cargo thing too.
He did that.
Do you know blade shark?
Your fucking heretical blade shard.
There's
No,
two
it's
blade
not.
shards.
There's 2.
We duplicated it.
Well, then you probably don't want that there either.
Oh, might as well go
Anything
put
else
them
in
in cargo.
Well, cargo is basically your trash pile. These will be randomly discarded.
Oh.
So what happens is whatever you add to cargo will
It's
then
trash.
get sold to like if you look at the cargo list, you have holy gifts and melee weaponry and heretical trophies and holy gifts and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Adding these things to cargo, things that you're not going to use, things that you don't need, adding those things to cargo will go, oh, okay, so now that I don't need this, now that I have things that are way better than this, I now have a full fucking cargo capacity of melee weaponry or ranged weaponry or armor kits or whatever. And you can trade those for fucking reputation with all of the 4 vendors.
I see, that makes sense. Okay.
How does your
And like I said-
last gun compare to the Ratobi last gun?
Whose last gun?
He has a well-maintained one, I think. But we
I
have
took the
one.
sniper rifle.
He has a sniper rifle.
Okay, then where'd the well-maintained one go?
I put it in the inventory. Did I give
It
to
is all
Adira?
on Idira, and
Okay.
the Ratobi las gun is the same. Actually, the well-maintained las gun has 5% armor penetration, and that is the only difference.
But yeah, cargo is your trash, and whenever you are eventually getting rid of things and trading with people to increase your reputation, it's what it takes from.
Yeah.
See.
And like I
That's
said,
the
you
thing.
can give me Cassia, and I can level her up.
But like, give Argenta a shotgun.
Why? We're not going to use her.
Just do it anyway. Keep people armed and armored.
There, she has a shotgun. I'll even give her the +5 hit chance and +3% critical chance. Besides, the better thing to give her is a bolt pistol or a melta pistol and a fucking sword.
You have -2
We don't have those right now.
Lore Xeno and Lore Warp.
Because she doesn't need those,
heresy.
and that's a skill. If you
They
look at her character
increased her
descriptor,
damage toward things, but made it to where she has no lore on them.
Where is it?
Also, Cassia has a special staff that you may want to give her. Nope, she's already using it. We just have doubles.
You get double from her. Imperial World characters gain 10% critical hit chance and 10% armor against Xenos or demonic creatures. Their allies gain half the bonuses of No Heresy. However, Imperial World characters, Lore Xenos, and Lore Warps will always be 0. So she gets a 10% crit chance and 10% and an additional 10% armor, whereas we get additional 5% armor and an additional 5% crit hit chance.
Who went through and tossed a bunch of stuff to cargo?
Probably me.
Don't do that.
A lot of the stuff I just didn't even get to see because I was thrown in cargo and everyone else went to loot everything.
Like, yeah, most of it's going to be garbage, but then we have the general consensus of, okay, we no longer need these. Let's just shove them there forever.
Yeah, I threw the auto pistols in there because they're kind of useless.
Eh, they have their...
And
they have
those,
a point.
And the regular swords, the 12 of those that we have, are fucking useless. And the scrappy auto guns that we get constantly... Like, I only threw the things that we get a constant fucking thing of. Like, every time we loot a character, we're gonna get another one, so that's the only reason why I threw those in there.
I'll hold off on that until it actually gets to where we're like, there's too many things. Then we'll just do a big clean of it.
I was about to say, trust me, that's gonna happen very fucking quickly.
Not really.
Yeah, it fucking is.
That's why we sort by type at the top bar.
Yeah, I know. But it's gonna fill up very fucking quick.
A lot of the stacks.
Trust me when I say no.
Yeah, trust me when I say yes.
I have 5 pages of random fucking bullshit, brother. No.
That's on you for not cleaning it.
Spring is not fun for them. But would you like to put an end to this really long dialogue episode?
We did all of our talking.
You think it gets to end?
It has to end eventually.
When the game does.
A holdover till we next.
Yeah.
This game
bonus damage is double.
We'll get through this game eventually. It might take a year, especially if we talk to everyone.
Enemies attacked with a blade.
It ain't gonna be fast, especially if we have that nice, 10:30 cutoff time for enough of our party that matters.
Yeah. We could do it on the weekend, but also probably not.
Death Warden.
Well, we have a whole day there.
But
Is
then,
there anything?
Fuck!
I got nothing else.
God damn it. I got nothing. Nothing that needs to be talked about on fucking recording anyway.
There goes you saving. Thank you very much for saving. Thank you for saving again, James.
I didn't save.
Eric.
The dancer is healed for the first time around.
Third time.
That's
Until
Eric.
next time, where we may actually get to do something that isn't just talking to
You're
random
actually the game
NPCs.
continuing to do that.
My game is slowing down. Goodbye.
Bye bye.